I'm just sharing my screen.
So we have here right now with 100 plus. Okay. So because, as we mentioned already, we have almost I think 800 plus people. We still have to know the definitive count. And these people are from almost 30 different countries. So that's why the topic today would be English. So please bear with us. Also, I know some people have a lot of questions, so we will try to answer all of those questions. So those who are raising their hands, please keep it, keep your hands until the end of the meeting. And then inshallah, you will get hopefully all your questions answered. Is my voice clear? Yes, we
It
are
was
recording.
cracking a bit, but I think now it's clear.
Okay. So yeah, I was saying, I know you have a lot of questions. By the time we are done with the orientation, hopefully you will have all of those questions or most of those questions answered. But if you still have any questions, you can always ask those in your clan meetings or your clan groups, for example. Okay. All right. So let's start. So first of all, let's talk about Dev Weekends and the fellowship and what we are trying to do. I'm pretty sure most of you have heard of it for the first time. Um, is my voice still having issues?
It is clear for me. Yeah, I think you guys can check your internet, whoever is having issues, so it's clear. Yeah, yeah. Okay, you can continue this time.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I will continue. Cool, cool. So I think most of you have probably heard of Dev Weekends, hopefully a few weeks ago. And I would just like to share why we are doing it. So Dev Weekends is offering um, 3 months free fellowship. I think still some of the people are still having issues with the voice. Can someone just for the final time thumbs up if it is clear? Okay,
Okay, so all
okay.
clear. It is clear for me or the other recruiting guys. I think whoever is having issue would be their internet. I think we can continue.
All right, perfect. Okay. All right. So what Dev Weekends is? Dev Weekends is again, people run, volunteer run community, 100% free. What we're trying to build is an ecosystem for good engineers. And the reason is that obviously we found out that there is a lot of gap. People definitely have universities, but they still lack direction. Most of them do not have the right goal in their life. They do not have someone to um, show them the right direction. So that's where the weekends um, came from. That's why we started it. So we wanted to bridge that gap uh, between people. Okay. So keep your hands lower down if you can. Thanks. Right. So let's go back. So first of all, so Dev Weekends, so the fellowship is 3 months long. And the plan is to um, have very intensive work hours for everyone. So anyone who has joined, you should be in for a roller coaster ride. You should be, ready to spend 10 hours, 10 to 12 hours a day in building stuff. And that's what generally the fellowship is. And yeah, that's what it is. Okay, let's move forward. Yes, in a day.
Okay, so I can give a quick overview here. So I think already most of you guys explained this question, like gave the idea of this question. So basically, this session is divided into two main parts, which is one is what is the weekends, and the second part is what is fellowship, what do we have, and how will your next 3 months look like. So, the quick question, we came to know that most of you have heard about dev weekends in last 2 to 3 weeks. And in the first section is primarily for that. So you guys know that what dev weekends have been doing in past 8 years. And yes, it is, we are here for 8 years. And now people have been knowing us like from last 1 or 2 years. But we will explain you the journey and how the things are going, and we will also explain very important question which we got on our emails. One interesting question which was that if the name is dev weekends, then why are we having session on weekdays? So we'll answer this as well. So I will start from a brief overview. Zishan, you can take it from here, like how it have been overall.
Yeah, so again, this started back in 2017. Back in days, people, we're talking about way before the AI was a thing, um, like a very common talked about thing. Um, so at that time, people usually got job reasonably easy. The tech was probably like in some ways it was hard, but in other ways, people did not used to do a lot of extra stuff. They would just stick to did their jobs, and then it was targeted towards those professionals who already have some sort of roles, and they wanted some extra learning going on and mentorship going on during the weekends. But after that, we started converting the methodology to a new sort of thing. So one thing that I have understood generally about humans and students is that generally these people are smart. Like most of you who are here, you would be smart. You will have some sort of intelligence, uh, and you would not actually be, having problems with general intelligence only. Highly likely the problem would be with your mindset, your schedule, your goals, your discipline. There would be some sort of doom scrolling if you are, spending time on social media. There is no accountability because no one is going to ask you what your goals were. So we, all of us, who want to succeed in life in any sort of way, it could be tech, could be anything. If you're a sports player, obviously you would have some goals over there. If you own a business, you will have some sort of goals over there. But what happens is that we get detract from the goals that we once thought about, right? And we get detract from the things that we wanted to achieve, the people we wanted to help, the community that we wanted to change, the people who we wanted to help. We wanted to give someone happiness. We wanted to take away someone's pain, for example, right? And that is possible only if you stay true to your purpose. You have a purpose, a why in life, and then you have someone to keep you accountable about it, and then you have the right mindset and someone to actually tell you, hey, these are the issues due to which you are not able to, let's say, achieve your goals, right? So so we saw a pattern of each individual who was coming in dev weekends. um, Again, I will say focus on the why first, because the things that I'm telling you right now, they're very, very important. You will have all the questions answers, like will you get a certificate? Is there an internship? All of those things, I think they do not matter as much as the things that we are discussing today. There are very few people that you would meet who would be talking about these things, but these are the most important issues that we have. Okay. So don't worry about the certificate. Focus on generally being a good individual who have a why in life, who has a purpose in life, and then they get a direction. Someone is helping them achieve that goal. It's not that we are the best, you cannot do without us. That is not what we are saying. But generally, a mentor is someone who can help you reach your goals faster. And in the last 8 years, everything that we have learned, okay, we are trying to share that with you. Okay, so you understand why we ended up converting from a weekend community to a full-time community, and then even then we grew it to different sort of clans and everything. Okay, and then keep your hands lowered. We will have the questions at the end. All right. So so saw this pattern that generally most of you have issues that you do not have a purpose, a proper purpose in life. You do not know why do you want to do something, right? If you set up, you do have goals somehow. Again, they might not be very good goals, they might not be very big goals, but you do have goals and then you are still not able to achieve them, for example, right? Now, where do we come in that way? Okay. One, yes, we try to work on that mindset side of the things. We try to help you in building the right mindset. Okay. We try to help you see where you're leaking time, for example, because time is the only currency that you have which will make you get better at anything. It could be tech, it could be any other thing, right? So we need, so first of all of us, right, the only thing that all of us we need to protect in this fellowship after having the purpose, which obviously will take some time to improve, right? But along with that, the only important thing that you all of you have to protect is your time, right, and your heart, right? If these two things are in the right place, you will generally be able to achieve everything. But if you are not protecting these two things, then everything, so I can tell you, hey, just go do this programming or contribute to this open source or do this competitive programming or whatsoever. So I can give you a lot of directions, right? But you would not have the necessary skills or necessary tools in your arsenal to reach that destination. Okay, so if you want to learn anything from this fellowship, at first, that you need to understand yourself on a human level, you need to have the right purpose, and then based upon that, you need to build the right habits. Okay, so why we are doing it for free? All of us, we are, generally good engineers working at good companies. Like we do have some clients and stuff. That why are we doing it for free? That's one question that's generally being asked, that what is in it for you, right? So that is a question that you guys should be asking yourself, that why aren't you doing it for free? Okay, so that is one thing that I always tell to everyone, that okay, we are doing for some purpose in life. We want to change, bring some sort of change, yes, but if you are thinking that direction, then you should also be thinking, okay, why aren't you doing it? So we start asking those questions, and that is only possible if we become good, right? Someone, so anyone who wants to teach someone about something, one, they need to have a strong purpose, but at the same time, they need to have a strong discipline, which will build those skills so they can share it with the world, right? So all of our purpose when we're coming over here together, so the central core value of their weekends is we want to bring a change. We want to help people. We want to make an impact before we go from this world. So after general pattern, what we understood was that people are given some sort of tasks. For example, okay, hey, you need to complete this project, you need to learn this. But generally what they're lacking is one right direction. If they get blocked somewhere, they do not have anyone who can answer to them, right? They do not have any accountability. They don't know how much time can it take for something to complete. So that's what we are trying to do. And again, I know you're always asking jobs and jobs and jobs. If you learn something, eventually you will have the jobs. Okay, moving forward. So it's an engineering community. We have, I think we will have the data. So let's move forward. Who we are. So we have 30,000 plus engineers across the world who have been helped by their weekends in different sort of ways. We have a lot of different groups where a lot of conversations happen. We have this fellowship, we have open source programs, we prepare people for Google Summer of Code and other different programs. We have Let's go back one step back, right? And then we are in almost 26 to 30 countries. Almost 50 plus universities have like students who have been connected with Dev Weekends, and we have been free. Let's move forward.
Yeah, so these are the main initiatives we are having. We have separate slides for each to explain, just to give a high level overview. As Ishan explained, so this is the main one you are in is fellowship, which is a 3 months program primarily in summers, what we are doing. And then there is mentorship. It is part of fellowship, but obviously it happens all over the year as well. So once you connected with your mentor during the fellowship, and if you perform well and you get certified, then you will be connected with your mentor throughout, and you can have one-on-ones, and you can still join the weekly meetings. That's the second part. Then there is DSOC, which is Dev Weekend Summer of Code. Um, this is something which we started this year. This is an alternate for Google Summer of Code, if you guys know. So we have this open source preparation program where like we have a structured preparation for GSOCs, LFX, Outreachy, and all of the other programs which include stipend up to $5,000. So if LFX have 5,000, GSOC have 1,500, 2,500, 3,500 based on the project. Dollars we are talking here. Same as Outreachy, same as like some other projects. All of them have a stipend, which basically you can learn technical skills as well. You can contribute to the open source. It will help on your resume, and in return, you will also be getting paid. So that's what we do. Like we prepare for, and we this year are in total. It was 9 GSOC plus two other open source people got into from Dev Weekends. And there's a story attached to it. I will explain later to that. So last year we had two people from GSOC, from Dev Weekends who got into GSOC. And this year we had nine, specifically if I'm talking about GSOC. And the reason there is only that once you see someone who have cracked it, and then on top of that, the last year's candidate, kudos to Saklan and Salman and Akib as well, who already knew the process. So this year's preparation was so much full of insights that I would say that last year's candidate helped these nine peoples to get into them because they already had the roadmap that how to crack it. So this is how the chain mechanism works. Same thing happened when we started back in like freelance and Upwork style. Then we got into remote jobs. One person got in, and then there were further people coming in, but just saying that, and a lot of other things happening like in the same pattern. And keeping in mind that we had all people prepared for open source, and we knew that there were some students who can contribute to the project. So we made this Dev Weekend Summer of Code, which is part of our different products we are handling, plus another GSOC code and like GSOC format. Maybe next year we will pitch our projects in Google Summer of Code as well. They are great projects like the Pathment, and we have the what was the name of finance app? I forgot the finance app name, but there is Goal Sloat, and there is the other one as well. So there are four projects. You will get to know all the details there. And then we have X Team, which is basically our builders and startup community. Then we have MindMaster. This is the most interesting community we have. I will explain one by one over these, and I think Zishan can also go over this as well. So starting from fellowship, Zishan, can you, if you want to take over all initiatives one by one, we have a separate slide for each.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Again, many of you are asking, okay, what will be covered in fellowship? Things like that. So just bear with us. We will answer about that in a bit. Okay. So first of all, uh, how the program is structured. Okay, so I'm just going to answer that now. Okay, so there are 3 months. Okay, and you would all of you have will have one mentor and maybe one or two co-mentors. Okay, they would be tracking your progress and they will be assigning you tasks. Okay, there would be 2 or 3 sessions per week, and then during the week you will be given some tasks that you have to complete in a week, and then there will be a weekend grind. So I will come to you right now in few minutes that how to make your schedule to get all of this done. Okay, we have divided things. So I'm first of all I'm going to talk about full stack AI engineering, and I will answer some of the questions. I know you will be asking a lot of AI related questions, so we will come to that. And then for data engineering, Abdul Moiz, if you're here, so Abdul Moiz can, give you some insights on data engineering track. Okay. All right. So first of all, what we are focusing on. Okay. Usually we focus on 3 things. Okay. Which is one, you need to have good problem solving skills. No matter what framework you want to work on, no matter what platforms do you want to develop, at the end of the day, all of you would need some sort of problem solving skills. Okay. And so we have few reasons to have problem solving skills. One, yes, you need some sort of data structures, algorithm skills, so you can do good problem solving. You can generally be a good programmer, right? And sometimes people would say, hey, maybe DSA is not needed always. Okay. Maybe you don't really need to know data structures and algorithms because of XYZ, for example. Okay. Now that can be true in some cases, right? But in other cases, it might not be true. And what are those other cases? Those other cases are those 30-40% of the top companies who would be walking you through, or who would be requiring you to be good at DSA. Okay, so that's number one, and we will discuss it. How can you actually build your neurons to be good at problem solving? Not everyone is good at problem solving in the start. Okay, but if you're going any top company, and you need to have the right goal. Fellowship is not designed so that you can just have a job. Okay, the goal at Dev Weekends is very intense. The task that we're going to assign you are going to be very intense. Okay, so you should be ready for it. You should be ready to put 10-12 hours a day. Okay, and that's how we get results. So for example, just we mentioned that last time this year we got 9 people in Google Summer of Code. So they were selected from Dev Weekends. 9 of them were in Google Summer of Code. One of them was selected in a European Summer of Code. So that's 10. And then one of them was selected in LFX, which is Linux Foundation, as a mentor, right? So, and this has been the highest count that we have heard of any community. Okay. And this has been the most number of people selected from Pakistan in the history, right? And then we got our almost 25 plus people got selected in Turing almost six months back, and all of them were undergraduates. Okay, and then most of our teams go to ICPC. Okay, so I'm just giving you some things that some of you might not know. So I will now make you understand the vocabulary. Okay, so one is data structures and algorithms. That's number one. Okay, why do we need data structures and algorithms? Okay, so every time you want to do something, you need to know why. Okay, why do I want to do this? Okay, so so as I said, there are 3 things. One is data structure algorithms. Why do we want to do this? Because we need to understand problem solving. And the second why is that top companies are going to require you to have those sort of skills to pass their coding tests. And you should be focusing on top companies, not the bottom level companies only. Okay. So these are the 2 reasons. And now, if you are, let's say, and every time you're doing something, there has to be a destination. So for example, if I'm doing DSA, to what extent should I be doing it? Okay. How far should I be going in DSA? How deep should I be going into DSA? That could be your second question. And that second question can be answered by competitive programming. And for that, we generally require people or suggest people. We do have some different tracks. I will tell you later that you can choose different directions in your life, but everything has epitome, everything has a top, has a peak, and that peak is ICPC. ICPC is international competition for universities for competitive programming. Okay, so DSA, why do we need DSA? I explained that, and then we talk about DSA, and if you want to go deep into it, then you go for ICPC. If you're doing anything on an international level and it is on your resume and you have achieved something, it's very likely that companies would love to come after you. Okay, so companies come after of any individual if they see, okay, they have done something reasonable in their life, because you might be competing with 5,000 different, or maybe I don't know, 50,000 different people in your country for, I don't know, 500 or 1,000 top companies jobs, right? So you have to be different. Okay, so the last thing that I explained, that is one that explains that you get some sort of stamp. Okay, you get some sort of branding, and along with that you get some sort of accomplishment to show on your resume or on your LinkedIn. So that's DSO. Okay, number two that we uh, ask everyone to learn about is obviously the technology, right? This programming and language and everything, right? But our mentality or our methodology is slightly different. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, you are
Audible?
audible. Yes,
Okay.
yes, you are.
Okay. Okay. So first is problem solving. The second is your technical skills, right? And over there we always mention, I don't know if that's in slides, but we always mention, hey, can we move forward? Maybe there is, so these people can remember. Move forward. Maybe go to 4. Okay. All right. So second thing is technical side, right? And over there we mention always, okay, bhai, you have to be, you don't have to be a developer. You don't have to be a good developer. Okay. You have to be a good engineer. And there is a difference between being a good developer and being a good engineer. Okay. So our focus is not okay, all right, just gonna learn a language and stuff, right? That has to generally change. Knowing a language only or knowing only a framework is not going to be able to make you a good engineer. Okay, so okay, then how do we become a good engineer, right? So shouldn't we be learning those languages or frameworks? No, you have to learn those things as well, but you also have to ask why at every place. You need to also do a lot of reading, and then you also have to do something at the top level, right? And what's that top level? So we discussed DSA, the epitome of it or the top of it, the peak of it can be, ICPC, for example. And the peak of technology or let's say general development and engineering, obviously, again, there is no peak for it, by the way. But generally, if we talk about some top programs, there is Google Summer of Code. So you learn something, you do open source, right? And us so the program that we have to train people for Google Summer of Code is Dev Weekend Summer of Code. People can go through it, learn something from it, and then finally, when Google Summer of Code dates are announced, you can learn over there. But ideally, if you are in tech, you're programming, you can. The second step is, okay, one, build some good projects, learn some languages, skills, whatsoever. Then after that, once you get good enough, you get into open source, and once you do a bit of open source, then you can get into Google Summer of Code, for example. Okay. Um, Now, these sort of programs, if you're able to get into them as well, they would boost your resume, your LinkedIn, um, your portfolio, because you would have worked with some of the good organizations and on some of the very good projects. Okay. It's all free. Okay. So everyone will be thinking, okay, they are teaching so much, but why bro? Right? But it's free. Don't worry about it. Okay. This is our third year of fellowship. And yeah, it is what it is. Okay. All right. Um, let's go next. Did we meet? And then there are other programs, right? So like you can have LFX, you can have Outreachy. There are a lot of programs. You have the Weekend Summer of Code. Okay.
Yeah, so I
I don't
can
think so. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, so a quick brief overview of this Mind Masters part, where it's like this is also a one part of the weekend, but what we do here is that
Let's let's
generally,
let's first complete. I think let's first complete the technical aspect in the third
yeah.
area, which is the theory.
uh, okay. Yeah, I think you mean the how the fellowship is working?
No, so we were talking about three areas, right? So one is DSA, the second is tech, and the third is theory part. Sometimes people think that university courses are not important, for example, right?
Yeah,
And they just want to build the projects, but they do not want to learn the underlying engineering concepts, for example, right? And that is where you get differentiated from developers and engineers. So that's the thing that actually would be differentiating you. Your open source contributions obviously will be teaching you a lot of theory, because if you're building basic projects, obviously that's basic projects is where you start. You definitely have to watch tutorials maybe in the start. That's fine, okay? But eventually you reach a point where you have to kind of get into good projects. You learn a lot of theory over there. You have to do a lot of reading. You would do documentation reading. You would do some deeper courses like maybe distributed systems. You will be learning about operating systems. You will be learning about you will be going deep into databases, and you will generally find your interest in engineering. Okay, because engineering as a thing is so huge, right? You can specialize in anything, right? Obviously, you will, again, do not let it um anyway intimidate you. Do not get scared from it. Okay. I mean, we are trying to give you some exposure that where do we want to go. Do not start thinking how. Okay, don't think about how would you go there. Okay, for now, just focus on why and what. That's it. Do not think about how. Okay, do not think about if attendance is required. Do not think about if you will get a job after it. Do not think about if you will get a certificate after it. Only think about why. Why do we want to do this, and what do we have to do eventually, and what are those things that exist in the world. Okay, that is, I think that's a more important question that every one of you would be asking. And eventually, what you will be getting from this fellowship is the most important thing that you will be getting from this fellowship is the right mindset, the ability to help more people, the right skills, excellence, and then how these all of these things can obviously get you some. So I don't know if I think some of people over here are from India, and some of you are from Pakistan. Some of you might not be from these two countries, um, but there's a movie called Three Idiots, right? And in that movie, he keeps saying to our younger generation, to these millennials, and I don't know who we are. Are we millennials or what, Moise? Oh, I don't know about you. I think I am millennial, right?
yeah, it's a gap. I'm at the edge of millennial and Gen Z, but yeah, I
Okay,
consider myself as millennial.
okay, okay. So we are millennials, you are Gen Z. But he kept saying to Gen Z and to us millennials, hey, just run after excellence. Run after excellence. Do not worry about what will happen after that. Okay, you don't need to have all the questions answered in life. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Okay, do not continuously keep asking what would happen after it. Okay, I think that is a question that you can have. You will get answers to it eventually. Um, and again, the easiest thing is that if there is a good car, right? It has a good mileage. It will do well on the road. It has good brakes. It has good airbags. It has a little bit of good branding. It will eventually sell itself. So first become a good product. Okay. First have the right mindset. Okay. So what we're telling you right now is what we'll come to how, right? But we're trying to tell you what and why. Okay. So, so we talk about DSA. Why do we need it? Obviously, we understood it, right? Problem solving, good companies would require it. And if you want to do ICPC, you need DSA. Tech, why do you want to do it? Because if you're not building projects, no one is going to know about your skills. You're not going to be able to build something for your own self, for your community, for your university, a product. You cannot do anything. You cannot get into open source, and you cannot get into open source programs like Google Summer of Code, which would pay you a good amount of money, like $1,500 to I think so $5,000, which in Pakistani currency is around 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 8 lakhs, whatever per month, um, even before getting graduated, right? And then if you have these things lined up before you graduate or even after you graduate, then companies are going to see. Okay, so we have guys who got selected in Google. So they worked at on Google projects, Google Chrome. So we have some guys who worked at Google Chrome, who work with on the who are working with Kubernetes, who are working with Apache. And then there are guys who are working with NumFocus. So there are a lot of organizations that they're working with. So if you have those skills and you have that exposure and you are able to crack such opportunities and they are there on your resume, what do you think? Will companies hire you or not? Okay. So always try to take a step back. Always try to take a step back. Okay. Okay, Ji. Moving forward. Intro to Google Summer of Code program. I think that's done. And then we talked about what? We talked about um,
Finding investors.
theory, right? So theory is important if you're taking your university courses. So where are you working? I'm working at a Silicon Valley startup. Before that, I worked with United Nations. I have worked with a lot of clients. I work as a CTO. So there are a lot of people who are working in a lot of good companies remotely and sharing what we know. Okay. And then we will come back to this AI addiction and stuff. Okay. So yes, that's what it is. Now, so this is technical aspect of it, that these are the three things that you have to do. But in order for you to do them, there are a lot of issues. Okay. And one of them is mindset. And the person that has been able to help a lot of our students unfold psychology. So I just told you what do you have to do and why do you have to do it. Okay. But now we're going to talk about how. And we at Dev Weekends have three things at the core which can make you generally a good person, which can break your bad habits. Okay, so I will just start with one thing and then I will give the mic to Moise. If you want to achieve anything, so for example, if you want to, let's say, get better at tennis, or you want to lose 10 kg weight, or you want to gain 10 kg weight, anything, any goal in life requires you to have a strong why. You want to build, I don't know, an orphanage in your country. Uh, it is going to be hard, whatever it is, whatever the goal is, it is not going to be easy. But in order for you to be able to achieve it, there has to be three things. Okay? Always remember it. And this is what we have learned over the years. Every year we are learning something. Every year we are learning something about people. Okay? And what we learned is that you need to have three things every time you want to achieve something in life. You want to catch yourself in an uncomfortable situation because nothing comes easy. You have to spend time to learn and stuff. And one of them is you need to have a very strong why. Why do you want to do it? You need to have a purpose that can push you towards that goal. Number two is that you need to have the right habits. You need to have the right mindset. Okay. And which is very important, right? If you have bad habits, if you have Instagram scrolling habits, if you have Netflix habits, you generally, if even if we tell you, hey, go do this, and these are the most important things. If you learn these three things that we're telling about, okay, generally you will be able to uh, do well in the fellowship. Okay, anyone who has done well at these things in our past years of experience, they have done well. So purpose. Number two is right mindset, right habits. And number three is falling in love with the work that you're trying to do. Even if it is hard, it is going to be hard. You're not going to always like it, but you need to love generally the art of engineering up to your voice.
Yeah, so just am I audible, right?
Yes, yes, you're audible.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So basically, this part of Devicans is very important in that perspective. So this is like this overall, there is an initiative for Mind Masters community, but generally we believe in that a person like we train on the tech side as well on the minds like mindset side of things. And I love this quote from like the founder of my company where I work. It is that he says that like business is a sports and your mind is a muscle. You have to train your mind as simply as you train your any muscle in your body. So if any of you know about the gym psychology and gym stuff, how the things work, you know that to train any muscle, you have to put weight on it. You have to put stress on it. You have to let it put in the situations where it basically breaks and then eventually recovers. So this is the part where we help overall. So we don't just help you on the technical skills, we will also help you on the mindset side, where you basically we will tell you that how to be consistent. That's the most important thing. We get a lot of question related to this, that how I can be consistent, how I can be disciplined. The most popular, I will quote an Urdu sentence here, that which is "Dil nahi karta kaam karne ka." So basically, I don't want to or I don't like to. I'm not feeling like. All of these questions, which we get repeatedly from the students and fellows, are related to the mindset. And we have seen in past 8 years a common pattern. The people who do well generally have been like they have gone through the process of training their mind and eventually getting better at routine, getting better at their discipline side of things, and that part basically helps overall. So the mentors will obviously help you directly. We will have different mindset sessions as well that will help you. If you want to see, we have our recordings for Mind Masters on our Dev Weekends channel, a proper playlist which includes, like I have given 2 sessions on productivity, the psychology of productivity. There are multiple other sessions as well. You can watch all of that, and we will have new sessions as well, which will help you basically control your mind and understand yourself as well. And you know why it is important? It is just not important for like it is important for you as a person to grow or groom. It is also important for you to get the job. And why I'm saying this, that these days the companies have a round called culture fit round, where they exactly see this, that how like is this a person mentally mindset side, from the mindset side, fit for our team culture or our company culture or not. And you know that culture fit round, and most of the companies have the veto power. By veto power, it means that even if you crack all the technical rounds and you're rejected by a culture fit round, you will be still rejected. And if there are technical rounds, like two, three technical rounds, and you pass one of them or two of them, you will still be considered. So there is chances of you fail one technical round and you still go ahead. But there are no chances that if you fail cultural round and you will go ahead. So that's why it is so much important that you work along the way of your technical skills on the mindset side of skills, and we will basically help you in that part as well. So these are the main things: productivity and focus, dopamine management. That's very, very important these days. Like I'm reading this book. You guys highly recommended Dopamine Nation. You guys don't know. I can give 2 hour session on this, that how reels and short content is disturbing your mind. Literally, I am like I can rant over it a lot, but you guys literally don't know that how much is it affecting in your all circles of life. Either it's getting frustrated, either it's anger issues, either it's focus issues. All of things, these things are somehow related to this. Then mental health, obviously, generally not burn out and quit. It should be sustainable. All of that part, we focus on that. Sometimes there is a portion where break is so much necessary that if you don't take timely breaks, you will eventually have like three, uh, maybe you had to take 1 day of break, and if you don't take, then maybe you have to go through 1 or 2 weeks of that mental burn down or whatever. And then the daily accountability and mindset talks, we also share that. So this is the general part of the mindset we have. And yeah, Zishan, if you want to add anything else over here.
Yeah, no, I think you covered it very well. I mean, if you have a sound mind,
Yeah.
um, that can stay on track, that can stick to a task, that would not just go and watch reels and Netflix and dramas and whatsoever, then whatever the task is given to you, people are asking, hey, what's the point? Right? This is the
Yeah.
point. I mean, if we tell you, hey, just go and complete this project, the only thing that is going to help you complete that project is that you stick to it. You do not give up. People give up so fast. Right? Okay. Continue.
Exactly. And this is the main purpose. Like if it have been like just a course and sharing the content, then you can do all the content is already available on YouTube and Udemy. You can do that. So we basically
Yeah.
our goal is to make you job ready, where you can crack the interviews and you can get in, and you can get a job. And for that, all of these things are important. And now moving forward, I think so. Just to summarize, we have overall covered that what Devicans is, a brief introduction of fellowship, and we have covered that what main things we focus on, the initiatives we are having, and I will also moving forward, I will also share the analytics quickly what Devicans have done so far, so that you know that it is completely free, but how much its worth is. So that's the next part I'm gonna share, and then there is a dedicated section for fellowship, where you will have all your answers that what we are going to do in next 3 months, and we have a Q&A as well. So I will quickly go through that, so that this is the last initiative we have, which is related to the X team, which is building companies, which is building products, which is for the senior guys who are doing. We have co-founders, we have founders who are running services companies. We have people who are building product. So this is a proper another initiative we have. So once maybe like last year's, I think one certified fellow is a part of X team. 1 or 2 certified fellow are part of X team. So if you certify, if you are technically well enough, you can like get into this X team as well.
Yeah, one thing I will just quickly put in over here. Um, so in the same fellowship, no matter what background you're coming from, if you do well, you complete your tasks earlier, and then you're able to pass the mock interviews with your mentors. There are three different levels that you can certify as. Okay. So one is Dev Weekends Bronze, certified, one is silver certified, and one is gold certified. Okay. Generally, people who are able to reach close to silver, technically they are silver, they can become part. Again, we still look at some personality traits, but if they're able to do it, they join our extreme team. Okay. And our X team has all the GSOC guys. Okay. All the guys who were selected in Turing, all the guys who have remote jobs. Okay. So you can become a part of that X team. That is the extreme team at Dev Weekends that none of you would have access to otherwise. But if you do well, then one, you can obviously get a good certificate. Our certification criteria is also tight. Last year, there were 800 people who were selected in the program, and then only 71 of them were certified. Okay. And out of those 71, I think we have less than we had. Now the count has been increased for our X team as well. But out of those 71, only I think 11 or 12 people were part of X team. So if you are someone, you're a top gun, as I like to call good guys. So if you're a top gun, you can definitely join X team. And then there are a lot of things that these guys are doing, building products, projects, open source, remote, you name it. So these are, and this is something if you want to go to the extreme levels at level, focus that, oh, hey, I want to be one of those 20, 25 guys at their weekends. And that will open up a lot of opportunities. But generally, if you get certified as well, you will have very good skills, um, um, which can get you some jobs. Okay. We'll come to
Um,
AI questions at the end. Let's
yeah,
move
we
forward.
have. We knew already. That's the first question in FAQ we already have. Yeah, so this is a quick proof of numbers so that you know that what we have done so far. So this is a 30,000 members, community members. We have trained 1,000 engineers who are placed already. We have 11 GSOC, like these are open source contributors we had. Technically last year plus this year is 11. Then we have 20 plus placed at Turing. So those who don't know, Turing basically is a company like an international staffing company. So our people who were doing competitive programming at CP, they were part of their AI training team, and they all got placed at a very good rate. Like when I say a very good rate, it's actually very good. And they were all university students from fourth and fifth semesters, fourth, fifth, sixth semesters. And in total, 6 months, these 20 peoples bring in like 1,20,000 dollars. $1,20,000. That's correct. Because they were hired on 2,500, $3,000 per month of contract. And these people are part of our core team. These people are part of our last year's fellowship. And they had good skills. They had like the network, and eventually they got in. And the interesting part, which I want to share here, is that only one guy got in, and all of the others, I think the total exact number is 22. All of the other 21 were referred. So one guy got in, he got a link, then he told who is the recruiter, they got reach out, like the referral system, and then the chain getting into, and eventually 22 people were in. And everyone was doing Turing and earning great money. Everyone, like 5, 6 semesters, have MacBooks and iPhones and all of that. Not iPhones, but MacBook is a productivity tool, so everyone have that. So Turing guys. So yeah, that's one. Sharing just this for inspiration. And we have 442 projects which were submitted last year. We had almost 50 plus universities, the students from 50 plus universities who are part of it. And the interesting thing is this is everything organic. We have $0 or zero like PKR spent on ads. So this is purely like word of mouth, everyone telling each other that this is a great community, and we are getting the attraction from there.
Yeah. Also, we have been having these people, like we have uh, had around 50 or 20 people last year in Scale AI as well, and
Yeah.
then a lot of remote jobs and stuff. So like these are some of the numbers, but we're just focusing about last year.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, in some of those numbers, some of them has the complete numbers. So yeah. Also, one
Uh,
side note,
yeah.
one quick side note. I know people are focusing on all the things that they should not be focusing on. Um, you guys should be focusing on the content that we are trying to tell you, because you are going to be with us for next 3 to 4 months. Okay. First 3 months are pure grind, and then even after you go to universities, you will still be connected with your mentors, and you will be getting through some of the interviews and mock interviews with us and stuff. I think you guys are focusing too much on the things that you should not be focusing on, like sharing your LinkedIn's and trying to find out the numbers and stuff, and just generally trying to have fun in the chat. Well, we do love fun. We do have a lot of memes and stuff, but I think this is a very serious session that you will have. Again, as I already mentioned, we have almost less than 10% acceptance rate for the certified fellows. Okay. So if you are not able to stick for these 2 hours only, um, and not able to generally get the message across, it's very likely that you're not going to be able to make it until the end. Okay. But if you do it, and I mean, no one tries to tell these sort of things. Okay. No one tries to convince you into these things, right? Then, and if you're not going to learn about those things, then it's going to be very hard for you to do well. Okay. So any questions? I'm from here, or I want to share my LinkedIn or stuff like that. Just avoid those things. Focus on the message. It will be very, very helpful for you. And we can tell you, because again, if you are seeing those numbers, okay, those numbers come from something that the team has done. Okay. So, and what that something is that we're trying to tell you. Okay. So this could be a life-changing session for you, or it could just be another session, another 2 hours of your life that you wasted on something, and it did not give you any sort of message. It did not change your mind. Okay. And again, you don't, Hamza asked it, how would a beginner know? So you don't have to know anything. You just need to know the direction, and you need to know the ingredients. We will build a schedule with you. We will, first of all, we need to get these things across your mind. After that, we will build a schedule with you. We'll tell you how to get this stuff done. Okay? And no one is too late in life, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Maurice, continue.
And this is important to like why we are telling this, that we have seen most of the people drop off like very early because they couldn't catch up, and they think again the free things are not valued as they should be, and we want to make sure that you know that what's the actual value of it. And all of us, like we have, like me, Zishan, all of the other mentors mostly have their own full-time job, and they are like investing time in you. And this is very important for you to know that what you are actually getting, and then you can actually value it accordingly. So that's why focus on this what we are sharing. So yeah, the demand is there. This is for everyone, that this year we got 3,000 plus applications from 26 countries, and we could only select 1,000 applicants because we had limited seats, limited mentors. So you are part of, like, you are already 33% of the people who already selected, and you don't know how much request we are getting on our emails that please let me in. I was rejected due to XYZ reason. I couldn't invest time in my assessment, all of that part. Generally, either they are excuses or either there could be real reasons as well. But we don't have capacity. So this is something you should be grateful for, that you have already been like out of three people, one is selected. And if you don't take this serious, and you would have been like, it would be injustice to two other people who would have been at your place, and you like, it's like just wasting the seat. So that's why this number is very important for you to understand. And then the number, when it comes to the money part of it, I have already explained you that overall dividends in last 8 years, this would be very lenient number, but it would be way more than this. $5 million, including the communities we have, including the startups from our seniors, including the remote job guys, including $120,000 from the Turing fellows. Then we have GSOC, all of these things. So it would be $5 million more revenue added into the economy, added overall by the developers, contributed by this. So every dollar land with the engineer who earned it, and it's purely that we have zero commission in it. We are just doing it for a reason, and that's a separate slide that why we are doing it. Then every so these are the stats we got, reach on each platform. We had like 7,000 followers on LinkedIn. You guys already know these numbers, but we just wanted to know that this everything is organic. We are not doing anything. We are not getting paid. We are not asking you for anything, but this is just for you guys to know that where we stand. And we started it from zero. So these are the numbers we have from the analytics part. These is pure reach we have. Interesting part of this was like we have 2,70,000 reach on LinkedIn, and in last 2 weeks only there were 70K plus impressions. We have YouTube, great content on YouTube, include most views are on our Mindmaster Talks. It's watched again and again, from the YouTube views and in Instagram views and all of that part. And we are also like coming up with more content soon. Then we have on-site weekend grind. So this specifically for people who are in Pakistan, or generally, maybe one day we will sponsor people from outside of country as well. But we have 2 weeks, like a weekend grind, 2 days full in 12 hours, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And you fully head down, focus on one thing you have to do, and you get to get thing done. And the idea for this is like top fellows in one room, and they are building something or learning something and getting out of it. And we have seen like there is a huge potential out of it, the conversations we do. And there were some people who were out of track or out of discipline as well, so we invited them as well, so that they can work in those 2 days fully focused to get back on track. And there was online weekend grind as well, where we had Discord channels, and you had to share your reports. And after every 2 hours, you have to share your report that what have you done in these 2 hours, and for next 12 hours you have to share that. So that's what we do. This is very interesting initiative we have. Then who are the mentors? This is also important. Like they are working engineers. Like our community have generally the mentors from Microsoft, Usman Bhai, we have from Scale AI Turing. I'm working at Calo, Ampwise, Solo Steps, Jihan Bhai is working there. There are a lot of other companies, including Salla, Novratech, all of the remote guys. Main mentors are from there. And then there are other mentors as well who are part of open source programs or who are building products and all of that. And they volunteer time completely free. And like we have currently, the structure is that there will be one mentor and one co-mentor in each clan. So you will be assigned two per clan, and they will be conducting your weekly meetings.
And assigning to tasks.
Yeah, obviously, assigning you a task. The consistency part, I think we have already covered this in the mindset talk, but this is exactly that we will train you for skills, for mindset, for consistency, basically discipline part, all we have. So skills come up from showing up. So you have to invest time, as all of you are here. You have to show up in your weekly meetings. This is very important. You have to show up in your weekly meetings, and I'm saying that everyone from you would be very eager or would be very excited to show up in next 1 or 2 meetings, or in the meeting, um, in the week in which you have done the work, like you have done very well, you have a great report to share with your mentor. But I think the most valuable part of this mentorship is, or this fellowship is, you have to get into that week for sure when your report is not up to the mark, how it is supposed to be. So, like on paper, you are not doing good. So, generally, when that week you have to show up so that you can discuss with your mentor that what issues are going on in your daily routine. Maybe there are exams, maybe there is something going on on your family side, whatever it is, you can discuss with your mentor in personal as well as generally. Maybe that's the feel and mood issue, discipline issues, whatever, and mentor can guide you to how your next week can be more valuable, because this is the most important mistake which everyone makes, that they don't show up on the week in which they don't have a good report, maybe due to what do you call, um, like not having confidence, not feeling like maybe they will have a bit of shame, or whatever the thought is, that they have to basically open up or be vulnerable in a group of people saying that I was not able to do this. But trust me, I have been part of these weekly meetings myself as a mentee, sharing my report. And like the most valuable have been when I go and I say that this week was bad and these are the reasons, help me, how can I make my next week best. So this is most important for you guys to understand, that you just have to show up, get connected with your mentor, and eventually you will have some results. Dishan, if you want to add anything.
Yeah, no, all good. We will just come to the schedule,
Yeah.
hopefully in a minute.
Yeah, and this is the most important thing. Everyone asking that why it's free. Are you guys mad? Like muft kyun hai? And all of the other questions. We get that why are you spending time and all of that part. And I think Zishan already gave a bit a glance of it, but I think the overall, Zishan, if you can go over it specifically here, that why we are doing it and why it's important to understand for you guys that why we are doing it free.
Yeah. Um, I think again you might be thinking why are these guys discussing this? And I think again this is not we trying to talk about their weekend. Um, we are trying to talk about you here. Okay. So if you remember, we discussed that okay, if you want to do anything sizable, anything that has anything impactful in life, you need to have a purpose. Okay. And that purpose cannot just be to fulfill your own needs and to just generally be better um, in your own life, right? It should be bigger than you. It should be bigger than your needs. And what's bigger than your needs? It's about helping people, right? So the way we have planned the weekends has always been that we want to build a chain. Every mentor that you will meet was once a mentee. Okay. So all of you, if you perform well and you generally get better at your stuff, at your craft, and you want to give back to the community and you should, then you will also become mentors. And one of the purpose that you can have in life, I always say in life that the best of the best people in the world are those who can give people hope. And the best ability to leave behind after you die should be that you were good to people. I think that would be the best thing that your kids would inherit from you. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, so find out what this guy is and Yasin and remove him from fellowship. Okay. Shahid, whoever this guy is and Yasin is, please remove him from fellowship and ban him from completely. Thank you. Um, so again, there are no like we can tolerate on a lot of things, but we cannot generally tolerate on any sort of disrespect or ethical values. Okay. And if you're in Pakistan and you're doing any sort of thing like that, then we generally have very good legal support. So you will be having some sort of problem. So be careful about that. Um, so I was saying, ke purpose. So the purpose you need to have in life is that you need to give a lot of hope to people. And when we see people um, in the current era in universities, in the midst of all this chaos and destruction and everything, um, we see people are very hopeless, and we see that how that those hopeless things are impacting them, for example, right? And then how um, it brings all sort of problems. People are not able to help their parents. People are not able to give a good life to their children. People are not able to guide their siblings. And I think it will start. You will start seeing it from today if you will just go and look at your university. And you will see there are a lot of people fighting a lot of wars, internal wars that you don't see. And um, that's how you would see, okay, what sort of work that you have to do. When you will see there's a lot of people in the world who do not even have basic human needs. There is a lot of inhuman behavior in different parts of the world. And when usually we see these things, we are like, what can we do about it? We cannot do about this is not our responsibility, but it is. It could have been your responsibility if you would have done something better in your life. And that's what every one of us should start asking ourselves, that what have I done? Okay. So So that's what it is. So we're trying to build a chain who changes this hopelessness, who brings in a lot more people, who can give hope to people, who can give direction to people, and who can help a lot of people. And that is only possible, again, going back, if you have a good purpose, if you have a very strong why in life, you love your craft and you are disciplined, you adopt good habits and you leave bad habits. And we will do an exercise at the end. So those who will stay till the end, you're in good. You are in for something good, inshallah. Okay, boys,
Yeah.
let's continue.
Yeah, I will just add one thing related to this, which is like for hopeless and hope side. And I think this is the most important thing which we want everyone to get out of it. And this is the question which we are getting as well, that all of this market, job market, AI stuff, why are we doing this? And especially this part, that why are we generally doing this? The weekends part is also related to that, that at the end of the day, the most important thing, like most helpful thing you can do to yourself, is being hopeful as delusional. That is the, like, this is a proper research, that the most common habit or mindset thing in the successful people is generally that they are hopeful as delusional. Like we being in last maybe 4 years or 2 years ago, where our community was maybe 50 people, 100 people, and today we have like 700 people. This is just a matter of fact, like matter of hope, a delusional hope, that where we believe in what we are doing. So this is very important for everyone, that you cannot do anything half-hearted, even if it's tech, even if it's paying back to community, even if it's job or whatever you are doing in your life, you have to be delusional, like you have to be hopeful as delusional. And this is a simple, like it's a normal law of attraction, that whatever you thinks of, it will come to you. And the example I was saying this to Zishan yesterday as well, that everyone is saying that job market is very bad. And when we discuss with Dishan says that this is the best job market that we can have in the times. And yesterday I was like, previously I was saying like, is Dishan, like we used to discuss, is Dishan maybe being too much delusional? But yesterday I was saying this exact thing when I got few reach outs and other things going on. So I said this like, Dishan, you were right, that it's all about the mindset. that you get in, and obviously how when the nature make things together to work in your on your behalf. But I think the hope part is very important, that firstly you have to get yourself like hopeful, and then eventually you can help others as well uh, in this thing. So yeah, which is obviously the part of pass it forward. Whatever you get, either it's technical, either it's mindset side, whatever, you can pass it forward. Yeah. So now comes in the how it actually works, the fellowship part. So yeah, then you can take over from here. So yeah, this is the
Yeah.
plan part here.
Okay, now coming back, the how part, I will then also invite Abdul Moise to share a bit about the structure and the sessions. So again, how it's structured, join your clan. Your clan is the group. By the way, I loved the message from Shashank. So well done, man. I hope it happens, inshallah. All right. So whenever, okay. So first of all, you will join a clan. It will be that group in which you would be sharing that group with a bunch of other people. And I hope that your clan wins. So make sure, you do all of your efforts to make sure that your clan wins, and whoever, whichever clan is. Oh, by the way, we did not announce about the prizes. So there are some prizes as well, by the way. But generally, we need to see which top three clans are. So there is a competition between the mentors as well as the mentees, that you make sure that your clan wins. Okay, so we definitely have very what do you call it? Cool clans. All right. All right. So join your clans, meet your mentors. Your mentors will be announcing your first meeting. They will be introducing themselves to you. They will be announcing, again, sharing about the structure. They will be helping you build your own schedules. You can definitely use Goal Slot to build your schedules, and you can share your reports with your mentors. I will send over a video how to make those your schedule first. If you do not have a good schedule, you cannot complete anything. Okay, so this is a very, very important thing, right? Then they will be giving you weekly tasks. Okay, because we generally know what. Uh, First of all of us who are senior mentors, we have made a very strong roadmap, and we're also constantly working on building some new courses, which are also free of cost for you guys. There is resources.devweekends.com, which till date has been like we have spent around $10,000 plus worth of effort on it to build free courses and resources for you. And one of the course over there even has $1,000 plus worth of credits that we have used to build those free courses. So there's a lot of stuff that we're going to give to you, which has a lot of value. So that is there. And again, on resources.weekend, you will also find how to learn about DSA with patrons, for example, how to approach engineering with a senior engineering mindset, for example. So there will be a lot of things, but more important is your weekly tracking. And the reason for that is that one, generally when people are trying to learn something, so they would do few mistakes. So two common mistakes in that are, one, they would not try to do um, so I don't know how many of you would understand what I'm going to say, but they would not try to learn in a breadth first shape of learning. Okay, so breadth first is a tree concept, right? When you're trying to traverse a tree, you can either go breadth first or depth first, right? But think about it, okay, you need to learn, sometimes you don't need to learn everything in so much depth. Okay, yeah, level order. So sometimes you don't need to learn everything in depth. For example, if JavaScript is assigned to you, it's not that you're going to spend next 1 month learning JavaScript. Okay, so your mentor is going to tell you how much do you need to learn as per your level, so you can reach a point of building projects as soon as possible. Okay, that's one. And number two, they will also tell you how much time should it take as per our 8 years of experience in mentorship. What is our general time frame for that? And just because they will know your background, initially they will obviously be trying to learn as well, but they will give you some timeline which would be very subjective to you. Okay. So first of all, so we will go in levels. At every level, we will increase our skills. Okay. But we will always try to start from basic projects, then better projects, then advanced projects, then open source, AI engineering, DevOps, microservices, cloud, all sort of things. Okay. We're going to do a lot of things, but we're going to go in a way that will best suit you. And generally, in the start, most of you are going to have a bad dopamine. Those who don't know about dopamine, we are going to talk about these things in Friday sessions. So we have the Mind Masters community is all about teaching you these mind concepts, the psychological concepts, which are very, very important for you to do well in your these 3 months journey and generally in your life. Okay, this this is for 2 hours. So one, they will be giving you that. And then two, they will be tracking you. So they will be saying, okay, they will be holding you accountable. The issue with learning or doing self-learning is that there is no one who you are accountable to. But over here, you will have someone who is going to ask, hey, what did you do last week? And why weren't you able to do it? Were you stuck at something? And then they can help you. Okay. So mentorship is not an internship. It's not a job. Yes, there are a lot of sessions, but there is a lot of work that you will have to do. And then if you ask questions, someone will be able to unblock you. But you're going to have weekly meetings. And those weekly meetings, after the tasks that are assigned to you, okay, they are going to decide if you're a good mentee and you are ready for a fellowship after 3 months, or sorry, a certificate after 3 months or not. Okay, moving forward, let's move forward. And then I will give you a basic of schedule as well. Okay, so you have 30 clans, 2 mentors, weekly progress meeting. Let's move forward. And then we have, I will ask Moise to share a little bit about data engineering, but let's move forward. Okay, we'll be starting with some foundations, front-end, back-end skills, API. And this is now going to be some interesting questions that people are going to ask at when are we going to learn AI and stuff. So we're going to come to that. We're going to talk about it. Okay. Now let's talk about our basic structure in your day. Okay. Generally, we recommend that you wake up early. And then the first thing you do, even before, I mean, after obviously having your salah or whatever your, spiritual interests are, you start with a little bit of gratitude. Generally try to, have those sort of awakening. And right after that, you do some problem solving. Okay. You do some problem solving. You, um, you know, and you cannot have breakfast, by the way. Okay. So this would be a sad thing for Shahir. But well, it is what it is, right? Because if you're gonna have breakfast, then you're gonna have chai whatsoever, right? So you cannot have breakfast. You will be empty stomach. Just starting off with a grind, no nothing, okay, and just go and do some problem solving. Now, when your breakfast is there, along with breakfast, you will be watching a mindset talk to build your mindset, to train yourself as a strong human, okay, to have a very strong mindset, a clear path that you can see in front of you, okay, and then you will learn how to save yourself from bad dopamine sources, how to build a good schedule, how to have a structured day, how to plan your day in different time slots, and we will be helping you with that, okay. And then after you're done with your breakfast, you will go maybe the rooftop, have some sunlight, maybe jot down some of your thoughts to understand what is kind of blocking you or making you feel uncomfortable or demotivated. And after that, you will spend like 8 hours or 6 hours full of tech, working on the project that has been assigned to you. except for the times when there would be some sessions. Okay, so there are tasks that are assigned to you. You complete them. Initially, there would be some courses, some projects that you have to complete, but eventually you will have some open source projects and tasks and stuff. Okay, and then we are going to have some sort of hackathons in between and stuff. Okay, so there's a lot planned. Don't need to know everything, but you need to know the structure of it. Okay. For DSA, we're going to record. We do have sessions which are from the last year. Okay, but we are going to record some sessions. Okay. Our plan for you is, if you go back one step back, maybe. Okay, no. So wait, go ahead. So for DSA, yes, let's go. For DSA, you're generally should be able to complete 150 to 200 problems in this 3 months fellowship. And those are problems that you would be doing. Like, it's not that you would do one problem and forget about it. You will actually do repetition of that problem. So if you're doing Monday to Friday, and we will give you a structure for your schedule. Okay, because that's very important to know. But for DSA, you would not do one problem once and then forget about it. That is not the right thing to do. You would be doing that problem. Generally, you will be doing Monday to Friday, you will be learning new problems. And pattern wise, we have a very good course on how to do DSA with your pattern understanding. So we have a course, and we'll also be teaching about that in our DSA sessions. And one of the top 50, top 60 coders would be there in over there as well from Pakistan. We would be teaching you those sort of concepts. Okay. And then you have to complete those 150 to 200 problems. Okay, and then you have to do them repeatedly, like in repetitions. So you do Monday to Friday, you learn something, and then Saturday and Sunday in the morning, you just try to revise what you learned. You try to take notes as well, and we will give you a template on how to take good notes of your things, and then you will log time for every problem that you will complete. So you generally understand which patterns are you good at and which patterns are you bad at. Okay, otherwise, so we need to share these two things with everyone: schedule, template, and our lead code Notion template. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, second thing is we need to move our tech skills. Now, this is the question that every one of you have been asking. So you have to build like 2 full stack projects. You have to then learn about the scalability and operation side of it. That's where you would learn about microservices, cloud, and DevOps. Okay. And then you will learn the third part is specialization for everyone, depending upon which track are you in. So either you are going to go in data track or you are going to go in AI engineering. Now people are going to ask, why are we going to learn JavaScript, React, and stuff if you're going to be AI engineers? That's a good question. We'll come to it in a bit. But we will first focus on your core, because if you want to do anything, you first need to have a core of engineering. And we are telling you because we have, so for past 1 year, I have been an AI engineer at a company. Okay.
Yeah,
No, track two would, sorry.
the same for me, that I have been an engineer for 6 months and I didn't know I am officially an AI engineer, but eventually I came to know that. And now
Yeah,
from 6 months I am a well-known like AI engineer. So that's another story.
yeah. And we will cover, like, again, we will be having more sessions to give you some real technical DNA, not like the DNA that comes from YouTube and LinkedIn posts, for example. Okay, so what happens really in the industry? What generally people who are actually working on production at scale, how they are able to do stuff and handle stuff, for example, right? So again, any advice that's coming to you, it's coming from senior engineers at reasonably sized companies. All right. So first is core. Second is so you will build 2 projects or 3 projects initially with the core. then you will do 1 week of ops and cloud training, and then you will do 1 week of scales training with microservices and stuff. And and while you're doing all of it, you will also be given some reading every day. It will be 15 to 20 minutes reading, and that will also be planned. So we have already planned. It's also on resources to dev weekend. So over last 2 years, everything that we have been learning, we have been documenting it on resources to dev weekends. And maybe I think 2 lakh or some people also visited that site, which is free of course, by the way. देखा like okay.
It was copied. So for context, for everyone, that this previous slide was edited by my agent in the background. So I was saying to my team that have you seen the live? And that was the copied text. I don't know. Yeah,
Okay.
so I was about to show the resources. It's interesting. Resources that weekends. Yeah, here it is. So we have a
Yeah,
very
so
detailed list of everything, especially the part which we were saying that where is our that course? Where's that course? Did we
courses,
read?
go to courses. Which one?
Uh, the Think Like an Engineer.
Think like an engineer. It should be in. Can you search? You just
Then,
search think.
yeah, so here it
Yeah,
is. So
that's
yeah,
the. So
yeah, so
that's the
this is
course I
the
was
course.
talking about. That have costed us $1,000 worth of credits.
Obviously,
Anyways,
there is also another story.
not intentionally.
Yeah, not intentionally. That's the
That's a
part to
different
cover.
story.
But we have a separate session for this, like Think Like an Engineer session, and we covered like how do you have to cover it, and for those
Yeah.
who are like um part
If you
of
go
so
back, also, so if you go
where
back, we will quickly show them all of the things that we're talking about. No, no, to the resources or the weekends. So maybe click on DSA patterns, open
yeah
DSA patterns and resources in new tab. So DSA patterns, you will learn all the patterns if you see, and people will be telling you how to use this. And then we will have our GitHub repository shared with you, which has all these problems. And then they will be telling you generally how to when to use what pattern. And then there is a lot of things that we'll be covering that usually people do not cover, and people are just trying to learn DSA the hard way. Okay.
yeah
We are going to give you a pattern to study it. Okay. If you now click on the resources, the first one, and let's go to hell. I think it should be um, productivity something. Can you search for productivity?
yeah it was at the end productivity sheet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
there
this is
we go.
the Google Sheet. Can you open it?
I think
So
it
we will
will be
sharing
moved to
this.
our goal slot.
Yeah, yeah. This generally is going to be the structure, but we will give access all of you of goals for free of cost. Okay, come back.
Uh,
Let's come back to
yeah.
the presentation. So there's a
Okay.
lot you can have. Oh yeah, but by the way, we can also go back. We can also show them the engineering articles and stuff. The
Engineering
engineering
articles.
channels. This one, yeah. So these
Yeah.
we've added a lot of things that you can learn and categorize them, because generally people are asking, okay, what to study, what to read. Okay. So we have one guy who has built all of this vessel. So he'll be giving you all these resources um, to study from. Okay. Anyways, let's come back. We have like few minutes, and we will. So, anyways, let's move forward. Data track. Again, you get the training, you network, you get referrals, you get mock interviews, and then you at the events and stuff, you will be able to like have access to our events if you do well after you get certified, and definitely you will be getting sponsored for different sort of things. This fellowship, I think we have one laptop, some monitors, headphones, mice, stuff like that. So that's what you would earn. But again, the most important thing is obviously the exposure, the network, the skills that you'll be learning. Let's move forward.
I just want to cover one part. I think a lot of people have the questions about levels. So I want to tell you very quick about this. Where are the levels? Track on the other. So basically, we have two levels primarily, level 0 and level 1. Very quick check about in which level you are is just simply you need to know that are you in level 1 or not. And if you are not, then you are absolutely level 0. So level 1 is the guy who have built something of an end-to-end project, which is not a simple end-to-end project, which is like a bit complex, which includes like our general definition is multi-vendor type project, which we have internally, which we share, but it doesn't completely matter. But it is like you have some admin side, then you have some super admin side. So basically three merchant, user, and admin is involved. And then there is chat as well and a lot of other functionalities. So if you have built any project, something like that, or you have worked on end-to-end project by yourself, then you are in level 1. All the people who are experienced working, they are level 1. The rest of the people are level 0. And we consider it that who is basically job market ready and who is not, so that we can draw a line and then we can divide the resources accordingly. And in level 0 there would be something. So we will in level 0 we will be starting from HTML CSS, but maybe there would be people who already know the React, up till React or front end, or maybe who already know basic
Yeah.
backend. But still it's worth you can maybe you don't need to go into too much details of those basic topics, but you can revise them and focus on the main track which you already have, which will be, let's say you have already done React, then your mentor will assign you the next backend task, and then you can just quickly skim, either watch the recordings or either watch live, but you can skim these initial foundation letter sessions, like for HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or whatever. It will obviously revise and there will be something new as well, but it won't be like compulsory for someone who already have that in that context. So for all the people who are doing absolutely beginner, like who are starting as an absolutely beginner, they can follow all the sessions we will be having. I'm talking here about technical sessions, and for DSA we will be having recordings. So this is a clear like a differentiator. And if you don't still don't know about your level, you can ask your mentor. And people, I was seeing that there were some questions in the chat that you're not sure about your mentor. It was written in the email as well as your mentor is your mentor and co-mentor are the admins of your clan. And also once you have your weekly meeting, which will be happening in next 1 to 2 days, then you will
Yeah.
get an idea as well.
Also, we'll be having a proper 2 hour session on introduction to DSA, which will be
Yeah.
live. And over there, we'll be just be talking about the methodology and stuff, and all sort of things, right? Before we, I think, move to answers, Abdul Moiz, if you can give a brief overview of data track, and then we can come back to the questions and stuff. Because I know a lot of you have a lot of questions and you have been waiting to get them answered.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Hello, everyone. This is Abdul Moeed. I've been part of development for the past 4 years, from 19 to being a mentor. So I'll be like not in a brief introduction, but I'll be telling you this is the first time we data engineering track because we got so many requests that why don't we can go with the full stack or learn side every time. So that's why we introduced by talking to some data engineers who are working in the industry. Uh, so we will be having a separate session, orientation session, you can say, on Saturday, and we will be sharing all the details of this in your plans so that you all can attend. So basically, it would be related to the data step. So mainly, those people who selected the data engineering track should attend that session. because we will be clearing your doubts or any confusion you have related to the data side and understanding if you are a working professional or you are a beginner and you're just starting off with data engineering or someone who just overwhelmed through the data engineering name and just try to fill out the form. So that is it, I guess. We will unfold each and everything properly on the Saturday second, and we'll answer everything. Over to you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you still like, if there are still remaining questions after the fellowship, you can always ask your mentors, and we will be generally having more dev weekends office hours once a month. We'll generally be, discussing more stuff and stuff. But after today, what's going to happen is you're going to have your mentors have initial meetings with you, start assigning tasks to you, and then we will share the calendar of each session and all the different sort of sheets, right? So you will have everything in written format, so you can follow creating your schedule and stuff. Yes, Abdul Moise?
Also, I see there are a lot of questions regarding the calendar and stuff. So we are just finalizing few things, getting the availability of the mentors. We will be getting the whole calendar of your fellowship so that you can track your time accordingly, like when the engineering level zero session happening or when the level one or data engineering session. So there is no need to worry about. We'll share everything with you, like regarding the mind master community and the tech related session. And also, you will be informed by your mentors regarding your weekly meetings and to have the proper track. So, I guess
Yeah.
we will be sharing it tomorrow. So, you can save it and bookmark it. Of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Moise, let's move to questions maybe.
Yeah, just to summarize, I think there was some people are saying that voice was not clear. Yeah, most of your questions related to data engineering will be answered in the introduction session, because the data engineers have, like themselves will help. And I can share one insight that the data engineering sessions we have planned are mostly from the industry professionals who have 5 years, 10 years of experience. And there is a proper company who is basically managing this data engineering branch of Dev Weekends, called Data Doers. And their CEO, CTO, and all of their partners, including some consultants who are working internationally, they will be giving the sessions. So this is the exciting part. And yeah, on a lighter note, Abdul Moi's background was having a noise. It seemed like it is a fan, but let's assume he is flying on helicopter. So that's why it was there. So that's why please tolerate. So Abdul Moi's next time, please.
Apologies for that. I think I got it with my point. Sorry for that.
No worries, no worries. It's okay. So I
Okay, Ji,
think now,
let's move to questions. मेरा ख्याल है.
okay, yeah. So
Okay, Ji,
basically, there
let's
were
see.
two questions, common questions which
Yeah,
we can ask, and I think most of them will be covered.
yeah.
Um,
Okay, so should I go for the questions quickly?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Correct.
Okay. So is it really free? Yes, it's free. No fees, no hidden cost. So some of those questions were there. How much time per week? Plan for serious hours. We recommend 10 to 12 hours, but consistency matters more. Sometimes you might not be able, some days might not be very good. Some days would be pretty good. So you need to generally maintain a nice average. Okay. If you're a complete beginner or experienced, doesn't matter. You will talk to your mentor and they will tell you what your level is. And based upon your level, they will assign you some task. It's not that everyone is going to follow the same path. Okay. So the roadmap is very subjective to each individual. It's not shared with everyone, right? Because you don't know where should you be starting. Okay. So there are a lot of things that we think before assigning any tasks to you. What your level is, what's your, let's say, situation, which year of university are you in, what's your semester, if you're a professional, what's your goal and stuff like that. Okay. So there are a lot of things that we think before assigning a task. So it's not a one size fits all. Um, do I get a certificate? Yes, if you work, you will get a certificate. You can be a bronze certified, you can be a silver or a gold, based upon whatever you would learn. Move forward.
Yes, next one is
Okay.
this is
A lot
interesting.
of questions were how would we survive with the AI? Okay. So the so I will just give you a background of the times when I used to code when there was no AI and the times when we do have AI. Okay. So at the times when we did not have AI, it was very hard for us to find bugs. Even something like a small semicolon would make us think for hours. Sometimes we would be spending hours on a bug because we had a typo in code, for example, right? All of these things were there, and it was making our progress always slow. But now, if you get into a bug and it's a simpler bug, like there is a semicolon missing or there is a structure or syntax missing, AI can help you, right? So, yes, after AI, people are going to ask, right? People are going to require more skills from you. But you should also understand that after AI, it has become so easy to have that sort of information at one click. Okay, we could not have our questions answered easily. We would have to go to some forums to post questions, and then we will have to wait for someone to answer that question. Even if they do, right? Or we will have to go to GitHub and put some questions over there. But now AI has made that so easy for you, and that is the reason why yeah, Stack Overflow was there. So it's I don't know if Gen Z or millennials they know about it, but millennials would know, but Gen Z would probably wouldn't know, right? So that's important. Now, so AI is a tool. It is going to help you with a lot of things, and just due to AI, people are now going to require more skills. So AI is not technically reducing the jobs of the individuals who are not enabling themselves with AI. Okay. AI would only replace the jobs of the individuals who would not enable themselves with the AI. And good engineers, they have to be AI enabled engineers. That's one thing that we need to know. And then there are a lot of things in engineering that humans have to do, and they can do, right? Because if AI would have been completely, you know, um, evaporating all the jobs, then all these AI companies would not be hiring people for millions of dollars, right? If you're a good engineer, yeah, you don't have to worry about it. Okay. Let's move forward.
Yeah, just one thing to cover here that again, the good engineer part is important that you have to basically focus on being good at your craft. And for beginners, this thing is very true that you shouldn't stop writing code because you still have to build the muscle. Everyone says that like day to day, everyone uses AI, but the interview process is still the same. I just got recently interviewed at a company which says that we heavily use AI and all of that part. And what they did, into the technical interview with me was like live coding route. Open VS Code, turn off the Copilot, and write this down. An API, a REST API. So this is something where the muscle memory comes in, and also this is something where you get to know that how the flow is working, because AI is very good at like doing the minor things, but still you have to craft the high level flow of the solution or feature or whatever you are building. So you get the requirements from your product manager, from your founder or whoever client. You have to tell the AI, but you cannot just stay and go like you go and say like do this, because it will mess up. And one example was previously I asked it to build the slides, and for the DSA context, it added 1000 1000 count of the DSA, which I had fixed live, the live Jadoo thing. It is because you cannot completely rely on it, and especially on production systems, because that is the most important thing where you have to make sure that the thing that which is working shouldn't break. So that's why you still have to focus on writing the code yourself, in at least for the beginners, especially for the beginners, and also for the part where you are basically preparing for the interview. So that's still important and that's still relevant.
Yep, very good, very good. Okay, Ji. So people keep asking some of these questions, you know, what if I'm not consistent, right? Because consistency is something that you have to develop over time, and motivation is something that fades, right? It's not something that you can rely on. So you have to build that sort of discipline, because discipline will take you a long way. It's not that you will be loving to code every day. There would be times when you will be scratching your head, pulling your hair. Hey, where am I stuck, right? And that is what professional coding is, and that's how you do hard things to obviously get good returns, and then help a lot more people and change the world. But when it happens, you need to understand that there can be days which might not be the perfect days, right? And every one of us have it. Okay, all of us, we can have it, right? So we need to understand that, and we need to understand that your mentors and the system is there for you. You're going to suck at something, right? You're not going to be perfect at everything, but that's what matters. You need to, you know one, fall in love with the idea of never, ever, ever, ever giving up. Okay, everyone who succeeds, they never succeed at the first time. They fail and fail and fail and fail and fail and fail, and finally they get success, right? You would see the story of every individual like that. So at times when it's feeling hard, you'd want to give up, you want to leave, you want to get away from your computer, that is the best time to stay. Okay, so just keep reminding yourself that I'm not going to give up, whatever it is. Okay. If your mood drops, you know, if you get burnout, we will be helping you with those sort of things a lot more. And that's why Mind Master as community exists. Okay. If you fall behind, if you're not able to, for example, attend to some session, you can tell your mentor, okay, about that why weren't you able to, join the session, but the recordings would be available for all the sessions, including this orientation. Okay. Again, the truth is that, I'm pretty sure many of you are super pumped right now. Okay. I'm pretty sure all of you can, go eat a horse right now, right? But uh, the good, so the bad thing about motivation is that it fades, right? The only thing that continues is systems that help you build a good discipline, and community that can help you in your bad days, your mentors, the friends you will make in this mentorship, from different countries, different universities, and eventually thinking about that someday you will be joining us at the physical spaces, you'll be working with us, and if you end up getting into the core team or our X team, you will be going on some trips with us, and we'll be having like very deep, like you can't even imagine, but we'll be having very deep and good engineering and life discussion, and we'll be truly you will really really make very good people who really want to be exceptional in life with their craft, who want to help a lot of people, who want to change the world. So that's one thing I think all of you are gonna love, and inshallah, that is something that's gonna help all of you, stay on track. Okay, let's move forward, and then we're gonna come to chat questions quickly, and then on those questions, I'm gonna speak at 3x.
Uh, yes, I think this.
Questions, my favorite part. Now you're gonna get introduced to a Zishan who speaks like a robot. All right, let's keep the questions coming, guys. Why are we learning front and back end DSA for data engineering? No, you are not. You're clan mentors will tell you, but generally, if you have full stack skills, they help with data engineering because I know a bit of data engineering as well. But that is for your mentors to tell you. Not too much. Okay. Three students who are not assigned a clan yet, when can they expect the invitation? If you have been accepted into the mentorship and the fellowship, then you should have an email for your clan. If you feel you do not have a clan yet, you can just send an email at info@devweekends.com. But if you were selected, then you should have a clan. Bisam, will mentors help us choose a track? No, I think the track, if you are selected, then you already should know your track because that's what you applied for. So no, but yes, they can help you choose or understand your level and assign the tasks according to your level. Okay. Um, will choose our own projects? No. You will initially you cannot choose your own projects because you have to go through some basics, but eventually, when you're good enough, you can choose your own projects. And some of the courses that we are developing from the weekends, which are again going to be some of the very cool courses, they are going to give you some ability to choose a few things. Okay, someone is unmuted. Who is muted? Unmuted. Wait.
It was
Okay.
from Meet. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So they're gonna help you with the right task assignment. So like individual starting from level 0 till end will be also covering the so if you're starting at level 0, yes, you will be covering some contents of level 1, but also you should technically you should be thinking about that sky is the limit. Okay, you should even be going to level 2. Level 2 is not offered um, in last two fellowships, but it was offered in the first fellowship. But no one was able to go to that level. But I think all of you should be considering that you should reach that level. Career gaps affect the resume. It doesn't affect the resume. Don't worry about it. If you have good skills, you can find a lot of things. I sent request to join WhatsApp clan, but admin hasn't approved. Could have been, a little late when you tried to request, but send an email at info@weekends and someone would be able to fix it. Why we're learning? Okay, this was answered. Um, is there some help regarding entrepreneurship? Some guys are trying to build some products, but again, generally, as per our data, we initially request our mentees to first focus on some skills and getting some experience. And after that, it generally helps you with a lot of things on an entrepreneurship end. And there is some other discussion we'll have later. How many classes per week? So there are, I think, two classes for tech or three. I'm not exactly sure on the number because different team is looking into it, but it's 2 to 3. No, these are not classes; these are sessions. You have to come prepared for these sessions, so you will be getting some reading before joining those sessions. Okay, and then a lot of the tasks that are being assigned to you. Okay, those are some resources that are given to you, some courses, some learning material, and you have to complete them by the time or whatever the deadline is by the mentor. Okay, and then for DSA, you will have to every week you will get 2 new recordings for DSA sessions, well planned and referring to our resources for the weekends. And you will also be getting the problems that you should be solving step by step. Okay, so pattern wise, level wise, and stuff. If someone is doing an internship along with fellowship, how is going to manage 10 hours per day? He might not be able to do it. So either should drop that internship or this fellowship. I would say this fellowship would be much better. If you're doing it for credit hours for your university, you can get a certificate from us that you can show to your university. Okay. But you can discuss with your mentor. Maybe that internship is a very good internship. I have worked with React, Java, AI, LLM, da 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 da. Um, and you can tell which level I like. You can discuss with your mentor. They can, because a lot of people have worked with a lot of things, but do they know it? That's always a question that we have to ask them. Again, there are a lot of people who are joining. Can someone approve them? Okay, G, what's next? Our assessments were supposed to get grades and feedbacks. We had internal grading, we just didn't share it with anyone, or feedback, we did not share it with anyone. If you were selected, you had good enough grades, and if that's it, and that's what matters. In which web dev tech you provide fellowship? Um, JS. So we picked MERN, and then we have picked some AI engineering things and DevOps and microservices. So full fledged. Why did we choose MERN as a stack? Because as per the reports and our research and everything, you can also do this research. One thing I always say every time you're trying to validate an advice, if someone is giving you an advice, you can always validate it, but validate it based upon the data. You can validate this as well, what I'm going to say, but MERN is the one that we chose as per the reports, Stack Overflow surveys and stuff, and the startup openings. Question, is there any space for vibe coders? Do software houses hire vibe coders as it is growing day by day? Um, it is, but you can generally not be in a very good company or someone who is irreplaceable if you're a vibe coder, because vibe coder would know nothing. So I would not call vibe coders coders. I would call them prompt writers. Okay. Let's say someone is beginner. How long will it take to get real work ready? 3 months are good enough time for you to get reasonably good. Um, you can get there in 2 months. If again, it's up to you. Um, is certificate fulfill our university mandatory internship credit hour criteria? It can. We only know about one university, like two universities, I think. So it is with your um, what do we call it? The guy supervisor. So your supervisor, yeah, yeah, supervisor can confirm that. We cannot, but we are happy to give the certificate if you fulfill our. Um, so no one is going to get a certificate, okay? Unless, so there are two types of certificate. One type of certificate is participant certificate. Participation certificate is that you maintain 70 to 80% attendance, okay? But let's say you were not able to clear the mock interview at the end of the day, okay? So you will just get a participation certificate. If you're not able to do it, then you will not get any kind of certificate. And if you're able to complete that attendance as well as the task assigned to you, then you will get some sort of certificate, could be bronze, silver, or gold. If I have exams from 20 to 23, how can I manage? Then you can just discuss it with your mentor that I have exams and I might not be able to do well, but then you will really have to grind hard to catch up with everything after your exams. Mentors will provide sessions or only provide tasks. Mentors will provide session as well as the task, but your clan mentors would not always. So sessions are for all the clans. Okay, it's not that we are going to have sessions in each clan. No, that's not the case. Okay, so if let's say if there is a session on Monday, that session is open to everyone in the clans. Okay, but your mentors could be the trainers, but they will also be assigning you tasks and assisting with them and checking your weekly reports. Your weekly reports is the most important thing because that's where you learn a lot of things. You get exposure, you get your questions answered, you get the next direction, and you get unblocked on stuff. Um, can you tell me more about the AI engineering track or the data and the data engineering? You can again go and read about it on website and do a bit of research because data engineering is going to have a intro section. Um, Students who received a transfer mail, when can they receive the transfer mail? I'm not exactly sure what that is, but you can write an email or info at the devweekends. Who is completely new to programming? What would be a good learning plan for her? Discuss with your mentors. Your mentor will guide you. Please confirm this. Can we use in? I think you can. So certificate you can use in your university. If they agree to it, you can discuss with your mentor. Alpha, will the recording of the session that happens with mentors the record? No, highly likely no. But you can request your mentor if there is a strong reason. Okay. Umaima Bashir, are we doing group projects as a clan? No, individual. Alpha, if someone is level at zero, is at level 0, but he shows up and learn fast, will be allowed to move. Of course, you can move to level 2 even if you want. How to manage if your semester is still going on? Discuss with your mentor and grind more on the weekend. Abdul Rafi, I'm an AI engineer having 2 years of experience. Would love to make something productive. Inshallah, you will. Um, Moaz Tariq, same question. Can it be considered as an internship? It is much better than internship. Most internships, inshallah. Will we do some research work or just focus on? No, we do not do any research work. We are not researchers. But generally, we recommend if you have good skills, then it is very easy for you to do research. So that's for you. And eventually, you can join one. So we have a circles concept. In circles, there are different sort of circles. Some people are focusing on competitive programming. Some are focusing on open source. Some are focusing on product development and stuff like that. So you can join the clan, the guys. So some of our mentees are working directly under the mentorship of some guys from Harvard, for example. Okay. So you can join those circles if you are good enough. Okay. And these guys are only planning for masters, for example. Okay. So you can generally learn a lot from that. So again, it's eventually, once you are done with some good skills, eventually you guys, all of you would eventually be doing some sort of specialization. Okay. What if someone is not in a very renowned university? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Skills matter. I mean, FIC. No one in US knows about even LUMS or FAST, right? So that's your answer if you're focusing on top companies. In Pakistan, it might matter a little bit, but if your skills are too good, doesn't matter. Discord ka link share kar dein. Can someone share the link of Discord again? How much time we have to give in the fellowship? 10 to 12 hours a day on weekdays, and then like 6, 7 hours on weekends, and then enjoy your time with your family. Even if you are doing 10, 12 hours, you can still have time with your family. I didn't understand this level thing. Could you please tell again? Level thing is about where you're at in your life. That's it. Sorry, in that journey. Sir, I had a question like I joined to track one full stack engineering, but will track two? No, no. But if you are so good, you can join both sessions because sessions are going to be public. But we will generally just be able to certify you in one track. Um, how will problem solving discussions be conducted? Will they be one-on-one like on peer review, or will all members of the client team participate together? Your task will be assigned to you one-on-one. You will complete your project. Generally, there are not any peer reviews. If you need that sort of learning, you can start contributing to the weekend summer of code, any of the projects. There you will get peer reviews and stuff as well. This is majorly your learning and stuff. And then after that, you have done something, you will have mock interviews. So our criteria to test those skills and give you some feedback is mock interviews. But generally, the courses that we have planned, they are going to test those of some sort of those things. You will get to know more about it because we are cooking some really cool stuff for helping out with this. If someone is experienced in AI but weak in Munstack, which level he will be in? Ah, good question. How can someone be good in AI and not good at any tech stack? Unless you're in machine learning, okay? But generally, you can discuss it with your mentor, okay? So we are not focusing on classical machine learning, and the reason for that is there are very few openings in the market for that. That comes as a specialization eventually, okay? So we will learn machine learning, deep learning, no. So we answered that question. We will be focusing on engineering and then how to integrate AI into it, agentic AI engineering, which has the most number of roles. Again, why we are going in that direction? Because LLMs have gotten so good that moving forward, less and less companies are building their own machine learning models. Okay, so that is why. But that said, it doesn't mean that you should not eventually that you should not be learning some good emerging skills like deep learning or for example, my interest is in deep system level stuff or operating systems, for example, right? Or maybe someone wants to learn robotics or cybersecurity, whatsoever. So eventually you will go reach there, but generally you need to know where you are at, what the market is saying, and generally you need to be firstly a good engineer And then eventually you can learn anything. Okay. Are we doing group projects? No, no group, individual projects. Okay. I want to join this fellowship. I was late in this. And any late joiners, we are trying to work out a solution for you guys. We have posted about it. So stay tuned. What should be the approach towards learning? This is a very beautiful question. Would not be able to do justice right now, but I will try to answer at the end. How much time we have to invest per day? 10 to 12. Sir, can 10 to 12 hours? Can we switch to another track? Unlikely, very unlikely, but you can send an email at info@devweekends. We will ask the other clan mentors if they have any space. Join Merge Stack course offline 4 hours. I will be able to manage both fellowship. I think you can, Umair, agar you spend some good enough time. When will sessions will start? You will get the date for that, right? But serious sessions are gonna start next week. Is there any mandatory to cover DSA front-end related things I mentioned in the slides? No. No, they are not, Zaka. But we recommend if you do it, it would be good for you. And think about being a good engineer. If you just keep thinking about, hey, do I need to know this language? Do I need to know this and that? Doesn't matter. Eventually, everything is software engineering, and you need to fall in love with engineering. When you're gonna get graduated from university, people are not gonna ask, hey, like, did you do bachelor's in React or bachelor's in Python or bachelor's in I don't know what? People are gonna generally ask, you're a software engineer. My course is AI engineering. Can you share the no? We cannot share the complete roadmap because so there are a lot of things that we have covered on the website. Okay, but roadmap cannot be shared because that is very subjective to each individual. So you'll be getting your weekly tasks, and maybe we should change that in the middle of fellowship, right? So we cannot give you, hey, this is something we're gonna cover. We're gonna always learn, and maybe we change some of the module in the middle of fellowship. Working on a project got some concerns like in vibe coding, AI often focuses on making the feature work quickly but ignores proper system. Um, you do not trust AI on large scale production systems. So I was working at a company which I switched, and then they brought in a AI, guy who, you know, I don't know what he is. And he asked me, hey, because you're a senior engineer, you should be looking into this AI architect's code reviews. And I said, okay, I will do it. And I started doing it. And it was so painful to look at. And then I sent him a message that, hey, I mean, this is very painful to look at. And it's a very bad code. And they're not even thinking about what they're building. They're not even, I don't know. Right. So, yes, I mean, you cannot rely on production systems. You can not rely on AI with production systems. Generally, people, when they're making CRUD apps, it feels very magical, right? But everyone who is saying AI is, oh, it can do everything. Most of these people have never worked um, in production scale projects. Okay. Fellowship is completed. After, will I still receive help? Yes, of course. So mentor is for life, right? Brothers for life, brother from another mother. Okay, man, or sisters from another mother, whoever your mentor is. Will when we will DSOC selections obviously will be after 10th of June, and they will highly depend upon your contributions. Okay, and the applications will start on 5, but I will say start like, contribute like crazy until 10th of June, and then on the 10th June, just send your application. Actually, how much does a formal degree matter compared to practical AI skills and strong portfolio? Well, degree matters to some extent. I mean, you don't want to be going to some job board which says, what's your degree? And you say, hey, I don't have a degree. And then the form doesn't let you pass. Okay. So, yes, degree matters. Formal skills, like as I already mentioned, so we always tell, okay, 5 courses are very, very important. And then after that, any course. I mean, I think every course is important, by the way, because theory is important. You need to fall in love with engineering. You can't just be a developer. Okay. So your object-oriented programming courses are very important. Your object-oriented analysis and design (OOD) courses, very important because they teach you how to do low-level design. Your database engineering courses are very important. Your operating system courses, very, very important, right? Then your maths courses that you learn in your university, they're very important. Your network courses are very important. So degree is teaching you a lot of things that you generally would might not be learning. But yeah, I mean, it depends upon the quality of education of the university you are in, and the best way to learn such courses is to learn them from some other university. So, for example, if your professor is not teaching it well at your university, you can just go to MIT OpenCourseWare or Stanford Online and just take the course from there. You will learn a lot. But that theory is very important in order for you to be a good engineer in the longer run. If someone is experienced in AI but weak, we asked answered, if you wipe code in such a way that you train the model to work with proper architecture and engineering of an application, huh? No. I mean, so if you wipe code in a way that you can tell the model what's the proper architecture and engineer and all of that thing, then you obviously can do it when you are a good engineer, right? So I somewhat agree to it, but then obviously there's a lot going on that you have to figure out on your own. Um, I'm unable to join. Okay, had a question like I have joined for track one, but track two can no, we answered it. If someone uses AI for coding but knows all system architecture and concepts, is all okay? Does that? Yes, that's fine. I mean, if you know everything what you're doing and you're looking at the code and everything, that's what we call AI-enabled engineering, right? You are first an engineer, and then you are building something to with the help of AI, right? So AI is just kind of coding down what you think, right? So it's fine, but do not always do it, because what if you have a coding assessment with a company, right? Then you would not be able to write any code, and they, again, writing code is the only way for them to know your ability to think like an engineer, for example, right? So I mean, yeah, keep a balance, right? One thing is that just for practice, maybe if you are maybe for 2 hours, 1 hour, try to ask AI to help you write what you want to write, but do not let it write for you. Write it yourself. Um, when we will have session with our mentor, every mentor will announce that in the clan. What about use of AI in a good way to improve productivity and get tasks done faster and better? Um, Not at the stake of losing your intelligence, but definitely use AI in a good way to improve productivity. Will there be a separate tech session for individual clans? No, no. Shall I drop my Merge Stack course? You can. It's up to you, right? But I mean, you can balance both. If you can balance both, it's fine. But if exams, talk to your mentor. Do you teach about freelancing? Also, we have had a series on that. I am expert rated on Upwork, which is top 1% on Upwork. And if you want my advice, expert advice on becoming good at freelancing, that would be build some good skills. Okay. So if once you have good skills, then you can do anything. People jump into freelancing, try to find some shortcut. There is no shortcut. सलाह साहब कैसे मैनेज करेंगे इफ 12 आवर्स पर डे होगा तो मैनेज कर लेंगे वो आप we will help you out कैसे मैनेज करेंगे because you have 24 hours in a day 8 घंटे सो गए चले still you have some time. uh, will the task be beginner? Yes, they will be beginner friendly. Farhad Khan, can I put those 10-12 hours towards my own project? I have some startup ideas and work. You can discuss them with your mentor if generally they would cover the level of complexity that we're trying to do, and then you are not relying too much on the AI in the start. In the start, no one is going to use AI. If you're just first time, I mean, it's more like कि हम calculator. Oh, sorry, I need to switch back to English. So it's more like saying, hey, I can we use calculator before learning the maths by hand? No, you cannot. Obviously, you need to know how would you sum something, how would you subtract, divide, multiply, and so on. So first you learn to do it by hand. That's, I mean, we don't do maths today by hand, right? of course, we would use calculators. But yes, when we were in high school, we were trying to learn it by hand. We're trying to do it so we understand what's happening. So that's your answer. Everyone's answer. Exams, whoever has exams, one answer for you, talk to your mentor. Okay. What makes fellowship better than internship? Oh, so many things, right? I think last 2 hours should give you the answer for that. But generally, giving you a purpose, helping you understand some mindset stuff, why, and then ability to connect with a lot of people from all these amazing universities around the world, having that sort of exposure, having people around you who have been selected in Google Summer of Code, Turing, remote jobs, doing open source, someone in Kubernetes project, someone in Google Chrome project, you name it, right? ICPC medalists, where is Vedant? Right? So there are a lot of people, top 50, 60, one of top 50, 60 people in CP in Pakistan. So there are a lot of things. So exposure is there, the sort of tasks are there, open source stuff is there, and then we want you to win, right? That's what I think matters the most. How often will we have physical meetups? Is there any criteria for joining? Yes, there is a criteria. We usually have once in a month for 2 days, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And we invite the ones that are recommended by their mentors. Usually we invite around 50 to 60 people. So it depends if yeah. Separate tech sessions for individual clients. No. Where can we find this recording on YouTube? DSA, how should we start? We will have a 2 hour session on this. You will enjoy that. Moise will lead that. Last summer I studied PF course in university, but not OOP. Don't worry about it. You can cover your university courses along with university and read them over the weekend. If we feel like you lack some really basic understanding of those courses, then your mentor will assign you some task. Despite of small projects, yes, there will be two mega projects in the first part. Then obviously you will do cloud and DevOps and a mega project in microservices and then mega project in AI engineering. So technically, highly likely you'll be covering 4 mega projects, and again that is very doable. Um, and then if you are able to get that done, you can even do open source. I'm an MS aspirant. I'm planning to prepare for IELTS. Should I draw fellowship or should I carry both of them simultaneously? It depends what your skills are. If you're gonna go for MS, it is a it has become a competitive space. You need to generally run them in parallel, okay? Because it's gonna take some time for you to eventually get, unless you are just doing a hit and try methodology, which is not recommended. I can get you in touch with some of the other guys who are doing the right methodology, but generally they have first focus on getting their technical skills very good, okay? But I don't know how much time do you have, GPA, research, whatsoever. So I cannot comment in a very objective manner, but you can discuss with your mentor. Both full stack development and DSA will be covered. Yes. Tech sessions will be live. Full stack is not entirely covered. That's why you have tasks and courses, recorded courses. And then for DSA, there will be recorded courses. Initially, there will be 1 or 2 sessions live. And then doubt resolution sessions, you can always ask for that. Will there be what? Sadullah is asking same question. Okay, ji. Oh, nice. I'm class 12. So what is my level? I don't know, man. How much do you know? You can discuss it with your mentor. You could be level 1, level 2. You could be smartest kid in this fellowship. Not necessary because I have backend experience in ASP.NET. I have been ASP.NET engineer for almost 7 years now. And I've been working in Permanent and Python and cloud DevOps platform engineering for past almost 2 years now. So um, it's about the market. Okay, so market is adopting and changing. You can keep .NET, but it's up to you. I'm not sure where you are in your current journey, but yeah, that's your answer. What tech stack would be necessary, Marn? We are focusing Marn. Doesn't matter usually. Like there are a lot of things, but Marn has a lot more openings. People are adopting it, and you can go and read about it. Why? Uh, Again, not the best technology in the world, but it's more about the adaptability always. When will your open source prep start? How can we join them? I think it's generally 3 months before GSOC, but we got some feedback that it should be 4 months. We still will don't know about the final time. But for now, Taiba Asif, Bache focus on building good skills. Don't focus on things that is coming 10 months later. Okay, focus on now. Build good skills and you will be able to do well in GSOC. Haven't been added to WhatsApp. Write an email at info@devweekends. DSA will be covered. Almost completed my degree. Can I join any industry so I can spend 3 months on this fellowship? I mean, if you have good skills, then you can join a company. Why not? And you can continue the fellowship. Can't we have these sessions at night time? I don't know. It's subject to the availability of the mentors. But you can always watch recording if you have some serious issue. Okay. Mention write it by yourself and ask AI. I'm also doing this, but just curious about agentic coding agent. Should I learn to write code? Again, Zen, that I just answered. If you have learned how to do the maths by hand, then you can use a calculator. Okay. How long will the session? The session has been completed. I'm just answering questions now. Um, Google is going to start AI coding round. Is there any cloud in their cloud domain jobs after June 26? I don't know. Maybe they are, right? But eventually they're gonna test your thinking. Okay. Same agenting so crazy nowadays. Yeah, it is crazy, but I mean, it seems very, very crazy when you are not building in production. Okay. If you have exams, talk to your mentor. Cloud computing, yes, we'll be doing 1 week of DevOps and cloud as tasks, and then there will be few sessions. Recording will be uploaded to YouTube. Session is ended. I'm just focusing on the questions. Um, okay, Ji. Completed my degree. Can I? Sure. Same question. Can you give an idea of the scale of these mega projects? Generally, not very scalable. I'm not. You're not going to build Amazon, but they would be reasonable scalability. No, again, scale is a very different thing. But complexity, they would be a reasonable complexity that would be able to give you a lot of confidence in your ability, but that doesn't mean that that is the only thing. We also mentioned reading about those things. If you are building a project and you're not learning what you built, then it's going to be a problem. If I have 1 year of experience after grad as software engineer is foolish. Yeah, of course it's helpful for you driving. Can we do PERN if it doesn't affect the projects? I don't know. I mean, you should look at the market and see. Okay. Modern skills should focus on DS or polish. You should focus both.
I think, sorry to cut you off, but if it's referring to Postgres, for sure that would be a part of later project, right? Instead of MongoDB, we will also have some SQL course as well.
Oh,
Database code have.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, Ji. What is the last thing? Last question. What's the last question for today? What should be the approach of tough question at the end? This is some page where we can know all about our mentors, like the domain and little intro of them. That is a good thing. We have a page, but we that is not updated with the data. Okay. So maybe someone from the weekends team can start looking into it. Um, how will you take attendance? Your mentors. Approach towards learning is a question. Last question if someone wants to stay. What's your opinion about learning how to build AI is more important or learning how to integrate both? But you start with building it. I mean, you start with building your coding skills. Because to obviously build AI, like machine learning, deep learning, and all sort of things, you first will have some good skills in software engineering, and you will add some maths to it, and then you will learn machine learning skills, and then again there's a lot that you have to do to build LLM models and stuff. And then I think we already answered attendance. Attendance is with your mentors. What is the now the question of the day is what should be the approach towards learning? Is DMing mentors allowed? Generally, no. I mean, you should be asking questions in groups so other maybe someone else can help, or you motivate other people to help you. Sorry, you motivate other people to ask questions as well. And maybe someone, because again, your mentors are busy people. They have jobs, they have stuff going on. So try to reach out to them if there's something important. But generally, you should be asking in groups. And then yes, you can have one-on-one meetings with your mentorship. Lahim Malik, does any cybersecurity related topics we will cover? No, we will cover general um, software level security stuff that as an engineer that you need to know. Okay. Shakran Hussain, question aa jata hai fir, huh? Is there any profit are you making from this fellowship? We are losing money as of today, but if you want to, invest in us, why not? We want obviously no one who doesn't love profit. So yeah, man, help us make some profit. Okay. What about WordPress developer and PHP?
Uh,
It's
sorry,
just going.
sorry to cut you. Maybe whoever asked this question, maybe there is a VC behind it and looking for
Oh,
what we are doing. So we have to
yeah,
pitch accordingly.
yeah. I mean, we can make profit, but we don't want to make profit from the show on the shoulders of people who are already, helpless. So, I mean, we are trying to find some solutions to pitch some things to enterprises, but our profitability is never going to be on the shoulders of individuals like students or people who want help in life. Okay, so I think that would answer to man, please sponsor us. Okay, moving forward. Learning approach, I'm gonna come to it. Should you be a journalist? Journalist, again, this is very specific to the role that you want to do in, you know, what do you want to, so learning methodology, let's come to it. I can, this will also cover this question. So, there are different sort of things that you can do in life. And one of those things that this guy asked as well, that should you be a journalist or specialist? And it depends upon what your goal is. Okay. And then you should go in that direction. But at the same time, so try to understand one thing. You should always be approaching anything in life from the lens of psychology first. Okay. Because, for example, you started something, okay, and you're very motivated to do it. For example, someone from Pakistan says, "Hey, I want to do robotics." Well, yeah, I mean, you can do it. But then again, this advice, by the way, one advice I'm gonna say, some advices are not for people who are really, really different people and who are really, really passionate. Every advice that I'll give you today uh, would be advice that is for 99% people. Okay, you could be some individual who might really be a change maker. Okay, and that is not that's not something that you say, oh, I'm going to be a billionaire. Everyone wants to be a billionaire. Okay, there's so many billionaires who are still working at 9 to 5. Okay, so it's not about that. You see your patterns first, and based upon your patterns you can learn a lot of things. But generally, so the advice that I'm going to give you is generally by the data that we have learned. Okay, so coming back to the example. So let's say if someone in Pakistan wants to say, hey, I want to do robotics, I mean, you can do it, but will you find a job in it? And if you're not, if you're, let's say, doing so well at it, like you're doing some, putting in effort, some effort for it, and then you're not getting some opportunities in it, will you get demotivated? Chances are yes, right? So that's one. And number two, and then what's your dopamine, levels are, how dedicated you are to something. So you need to know your patterns first. It's not that, hey, I'm gonna just spend 1 year in learning programming, learning robotics. But I mean, that is possible, but are you that individual who can do it? I mean, that's questionable. So what we generally recommend is we try to not push you to the limits always. I mean, we are pushing the limits to you, to your limits, in terms of hours, but not in terms of um, results, for example. Okay, and that's where the methodology of level-based learning comes from. Okay, and what that learning is, okay, let's learn something in levels. For example, spend 1 week on JavaScript, spend 1 week on React, spend 1 week on learning a little bit of database and APIs, and then build a project. So because that iteration is fast, yes, that for that 1 week you have to work hard, but after that you're getting some result, and then you're getting some result, and then you're getting some result. Okay, so that results are coming faster, which might keep you engaged, and then will increase the complexity and increase the complexity, and then highly likely you will get a job in that market, and you will be doing some engineering. And after that, it's very easy for you to, because now you have a job, you have some fundamental engineering knowledge, you have some sort of discipline, because obviously, if you would have gotten a job, you would have obviously changed some habits, and you would be generally doing some production coding every day, and you'll be learning something. Now, that's a good time for you to do something more crazy. Okay. You can do, and you obviously you will have money coming in, which is a great motivator, right? You won't be learning empty stomach. Right? You still have to learn for first 2 hours of the day, but I mean, generally speaking. So the money would be flowing in. Again, money can also kill your goals, but I mean, it helps as well if you are on the right track. So as I said, the learning methodology question is a deep question. So if that is coming in and somehow you're in a comfortable space, now you can go in and learn some emerging stuff. You can learn robotics, you can learn classical machine learning, deep learning, maths, for example. Generally, you should be learning maths in your university. That will help a lot. Maybe someday I will give some examples. But so you can learn operating system, you can read engineering books, you can contribute to open source and stuff like that. You can do a lot more in a lot of domains. So for example, we started with MERN, okay? And many of our mentees who are selected in Google Summer of Code, I think, I don't know, maybe less than 50% of them are actually working in MERN. Some of them are working in, I don't know, C++, Java, you name it, right? So it depends. If generally you're a good engineer, it doesn't matter. You can always switch between technologies. Okay. So that's one, right? The other important factor, so one, knowing your background, understanding where you're at, where do you want to go, and how have you seen your patterns behind the scene. Number two, which is very important, is that how passionate are you about something. I mean, I would not give this same advice to, for example, my younger brother. Okay. Um, so, for example, if someone wants to be the top coder in the world in competitive programming only, and he says, "Hey, I don't want to do any tech," I will say, "Okay, fine. I mean, just go do what you want to do, what you're passionate about." Because I know for this individual, this is not a question for, again, a balanced approach is a good approach. You should be doing well at everything. But sometimes you can take a route which might not be the best route, but your passion can beat every other outcome. Okay. So that is true. But while you're learning something, you really need to fall in love with the craft that you're doing. Okay. Do Most of the people are trying to learn because they want to make money, they want to get a job. I think that's the worst mentality that you can have. Okay. I mean, I'm getting a very bad example of Pablo Escobar, but I wanted to say Picasso. So Picasso would not have been a great artist if he would have been thinking, hey, I want to learn art just so I can make a lot of money. And generally, you will see a lot of people like that. And we, unfortunately, somehow, maybe because of academia or whatsoever, we are generally not able to develop um, that sort of love for engineering. And engineering is so beautiful. I mean, so beautiful. You will, inshallah, learn someday. Um, so, so yeah, I mean, go after your learning um, with excellence in mind and with a love for your craft, and try to always remind yourself of the purpose that you could be one of those Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerbergs someday. And then once that happens, the sort of impact that you can make is going to be phenomenal. And every day when you're going through this, obviously it's going to be hard, right? So every day when you're going through those nail-biting moments of your life, it's going to be hard. Going to be sometimes you're going to cry, right? Um, it is going to pay off, right? And not in terms of that you're going to have a G wagon or stuff, but generally that if you know stuff, you can help a lot more people. You can help one person, and that person can help another one, and another one, another one, right? And that's how you bring the change. So people who bring the change, they start small, they work on themselves, um, and then if you have that kind of things in the mind, um, yeah. So good question. One more good question. But yeah, that's general. Few general things. The other things are obviously take good notes. Many people do not. Many people are trying to learn, but they're making three mistakes. One is they are not. So they're learning something, but they're not asking why they are learning. Okay, they're not trying to connect it to something. Okay, you learned some some engineering concept, but like people, you will ask, hey, what's metadata? People are like, hey, it's data for data. But what is metadata for data? Why do you need it? Right? People won't know it. So do not try to learn facts. Okay, just try to learn what the fact is, why do we need it, things like that, and maybe ask few whys about everything that you're trying to learn. To make very good notes or be an organized person. If you're learning something, you're going to forget it. Okay, you should be having good organized notes. I use Microsoft OneNote. Moise loves um, a Notion. Moving forward, I am loving Goldslot more. It still has some glitches, but I'm liking it. So you can use a good app that can, persist your notes in a more organized way. So someday later down the road, which is the third thing, you go back to those notes and you can revise those notes, okay, and build some sort of structure for it. And yeah, you can speak about it. You can write about those things that you learn. Writing or teaching those things are a very good way to learn things better. They kind of help you organize stuff in your mind and help you with your long-term memory and stuff. And then again, just eat well, rest well, work well, have good time with family, and then you should be able to do well in your learning journey. Anything, Moise, that you want to add? Abdul Moise?
Yeah,
Moise?
I think
Anyone?
I
Yes.
think all good, or you have explained most of the part.
Abdul
Um,
Moise said something.
I just want to add one thing. is that after the end of this fellowship, most of you will be standing at that point. I know that you all have some confusions or have concerns what we gonna do or क्या job लगेगी या नहीं. But the thing is, one thing I would say, and that would be a wrap up for this session. Like, just remember the way you are standing right now in any position you are, like when you achieve something, so be that person you needed the most when you were struggling. Because we have seen that a lot of people who get jobs like get disappear or do not try to pass it on to build that chain. So what we expect from you to be that person you needed the most in your struggling time. So I think that's it from my side.
Beautiful,
Uh,
beautiful. And yeah,
Otherwise, sorry to cut you. Otherwise, maybe someday you're gonna share your conversation with yourself you had in this confusion.
I'm like
See
I'm
that?
trying to figure it out, like how to say those words in a better way.
Yeah, so it
You,
is
if
like
you know, you know.
I can give a brief overview. I would try to summarize it, but it is like doubts are the most common thing which you cannot avoid. Even like I do get doubts. I texted something to Zishan like 3-4 hours ago, and now I'm thinking maybe that was too much overthinking why I texted that. And same happens with Abdul Muiz, and same happens with like all of us. And this is something like me and Abdul Muiz were discussing last week. Like it comes to you again and again, and either you can pick it up or the same doubt, and you can think too much over it. Like a common doubt it would you be able to do it or not, especially when you are applying and when you are ready for job and you don't see results. At that point you get this doubt a lot. So at that point, but one thing is you either focus on the bad part, or the other thing is you focus on the good part, which is like it will be
You
possible
focus
if
on
it is
how
being delayed.
to enjoy it.
Yeah, how to that is the second part, how to enjoy it. Basically you can have a funny conversation with your nafs or with your inner self, that he forces you to get into doubt, and you counter every doubt in your head. So we cannot share it here. Maybe on next weekend grind we will share that. But yeah, it is very interesting.
3 घंटे 45 मिनट हो गए हैं भाई. अच्छा, all right. Okay, first of all, I am super, super proud of all of you 200 because we had 700 people. I'm also very hungry, man. Okay, so one quick activity before you guys go. 2 hours, 3 hours. Okay. Anyways, so one, I'm super, super because 700 people joined and then 200 people are still here. So very proud of you guys. You did not have to because we're just going through questions. The activity is okay. Is everyone pumped? Okay, who's pumped? No one seems pumped. No one seems ready for a lot of fun. Okay, okay. So I think everyone is pumped. Okay, okay. So, are we going to change our bad habits and build very good habits in next 3 months? Anyone? Yes? Okay, okay. And are we going to completely reshape our personality and just turn into monsters who really make things happen? Right? Okay, okay. And are we gonna get rid of our bad habits? Okay, activity coming. Okay. So grind mode on, beast mode on, getting rid of the world, right? Stopping everything. So here the activity comes. Okay, so let's all do a very nice activity to prove that. Let's go to our social media accounts and deactivate all of them. Oh, painful activity, right? But it is what it is. So if you want this session to be one of those sessions which really transformed and started a new journey for you, right? You have to take some very, very hard steps. Without saying cheating, cheating at that. So let's do it. Or we're not gonna uninstall it. We're gonna deactivate our accounts, and we're gonna make an oath to ourselves that unless we make a good, um, you know, we make some impact, we're not gonna go back to these stupid things. Okay, because they are the biggest time eater of your day. They are the worst source of bad dopamine. Also, they're the best source of bad dopamine. Okay. So, and that's how you're gonna get into that grind mode for next 3 months. That's how you're gonna, produce some results for yourself, inshallah. So that's first step into that journey of going against your nerves, again, going against yourself and getting into the journey of, really be a go-getter. Okay. So how many plus ones? Let's count. How many plus ones? How many of you have, except for LinkedIn, get rid of your Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, I don't know what threads, Facebook. Okay, so let's get plus ones. How many of you have deactivated your accounts? Your feed is so one question is don't worry, Zishan, you don't need to learn a lot from your feed. For next 3 months, we will give you enough to learn. Oh, Fahad already on the track. No, you can continue to create your content, uh, but you can use buffer to share that. So you never have to go and see how many likes are you getting. Because the worst thing about creating content then is that, okay, you want to see how much likes are you getting, how many views are you getting. And you should not be focusing on that. Okay, you should be focusing really on your, again, always think what's more important at this point in time. Is making content more important or becoming a good engineer is more important? Okay. What if I scroll LinkedIn all day? ये तो us problems हैं. Again, generally, again, Wajahat, I think maybe if you wanna comment on that, becoming a good human. Only YouTube to learn new things, editorials, Instagram. YT shorts are the worst thing if you turn off your Wajahat. Yeah, Wajahat, can someone give Wajahat? Can you give some insights? I mean, we have the worst and the best guy for social media. So Wajahat kahan hai? एक second, let me invite him. Oh, he's here. Okay. Wajahat.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. आवाज आ रही है?
Yes, yes.
हेलो, आ रही है आवाज?
आ रही है आवाज आपकी आ रही है मुझे।
ओके, साउंड्स गुड। तो यार कुछ लोग कह रहे हैं if I scroll LinkedIn all day, so I'm an living example of this. I'm highly addicted to social media, internet, like, and I've tried a lot of things to avoid that. Like, I can spend hours on any platform that you give me. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I can even spend hours on WhatsApp. There are no new messages. I will just go through the chats, just read out messages, but I'll do anything but not work. So I can
You
relate.
can
And
even you can even spend hours on your alarm app if you know.
no, no, it's not that bad. But essentially, guys, so these tools are, some people, you need to first understand why you use these tools. Are they valuable to you? And sort of have this philosophy of digital minimalism where you ask yourself, is this tool really valuable? Is this tool helping me achieve any goals of mine, or help is providing me any value in my life? And then, is it the best way to achieve those goals? Like, not only it is giving me some value, for some people might say I stay connected with my friends on Facebook, but like, is that the best way to stay connected to your friends? Should you just call them? Should you just meet in real life? So these are the some things that you need to like think through. Just sit down one day for how many hours you need and just think through. And uh, as Zebai said, just deactivate them all is the best way. And for even for the technologies that you can't really deactivate all of them, for example, for LinkedIn you cannot deactivate it. um, WhatsApp is also like pretty crucial. You can't deactivate your WhatsApp account, or please don't deactivate your WhatsApp account. I won't be able to contact you. But so there are tools for that. I use on mobile phones. I use this app called Stayed Focused, which basically I can disable the apps that I don't want to use. And on desktop, I just use Cold Turkey. I'll write it in chat as well. And Cold Turkey is awesome. Once you block something, you can't unblock it without reinstalling your Windows, which is too much hassle. So you can like do everything on Cold Turkey. You can block websites, you can block even applications, you can like create schedules on when those applications need to be blocked, or you can even say like set quotas. I want to use this application for 10 days. And I would highly recommend to use some of these apps, because it's not just, you can't just think that I'm not going to use these apps now and then magically you'll stop using them. That's not going to happen, because billions of dollars have been spent on research on these apps. Some of the world's best minds have worked on those apps to keep you hooked. So you aren't going to just defeat them with willpower alone. Just install, I would say, Cold Turkey. And for example, right now, my Cold Turkey blocks everything on my Mac. YouTube, LinkedIn is not blocked, but YouTube, X, Instagram, everything else that I spend base time on. And then for LinkedIn, what I have done is that, so LinkedIn has URLs, right? So my LinkedIn profile URL is allowed, notifications, etc., messages, everything is allowed, but LinkedIn feed URL I have blocked that, so I can't scroll on LinkedIn. So that's I would say just some general advice for all of you, and then hopefully like we can have a session on it as well, and then we can like have more discussion in the future as well.
Good argument. YouTube ब्लॉक कर देंगे तो खाना कैसे खाएंगे?
अब्दुल मोइज, ये तो आपके लिए।
यौन नहीं देखेंगे तो लंच कैसे होगा?
सिर्फ वजाहत के लिए हमने ना प्रॉपर यूट्यूब वीडियोस एक जगह पे इंटीग्रेट की थी, ताकि ये सिर्फ वहाँ पे वीडियोस देखे और वापस आ जाए। तो किसी का ये मसला है तो वी कैन डू दैट फेवर फॉर यू।
I can also share one interesting thing if you guys know. There is a
अच्छा,
settings
इसमें ना
and
एक सेकंड बस, इनको ये बेचारे कुछ बच्चे थक गए हैं, तो हम भी गए हैं। वो बेचारी बच्ची कह रही है सर बस आपकी मेहरबानी है, बस मुझे मेरे घर जाना है। तो एनीवेज, तो उसके लिए
ठीक
ये
है।
है कि जो लोग जो लोग थक गए हैं वो जा सकते हैं।